this guy. This is a guy that was all man. This man was strong and tough. And I refuse to say it, but when he took showers with the other pros, they came out of there, they said, oh my God, that's unbelievable. I had to say it.
Coming from a galaxy near you, this is Brothers in Booze. And here are your hosts, Greg Washington and Doug Ziegler.
Welcome to Brothers in Booze.
That was the way to start the show.
Yeah, we'll let that, be what it is. How you doing, Doug?
Good, man. How about you?
Good. I'm drinking a very basic beer in respect to basic beers. It's a G5 Brewing Company here from Wisconsin. You can see it's a Badger and Wisconsin cheesehead beer. It's called Wisconsin Treats or Wisco Treats. Look at that. Nice. I figure it was a perfect beer to welcome our Chicago friend here.
Show the rivalry.
Packers and Bears. I don't know if I don't know if y'all understand, but Packers and Bears go hard here in the Midwest. So there is that. There's a lot of. Do you see a lot of beer football themed beers? You got like giant beers and Bills
Buffalo
beers
Bills.
Buffalo
Bills beers. Yeah, there's a brewery
there's
a brewery that is midway between Buffalo and New York City that makes like 3 different Buffalo Bills beers.
Because Joel and I on Badger Beer Hour did a whole segment of like we had to stop. We had to exclude some because the segment got too big of all the different beer themed, Packer themed beers that we have here in Wisconsin. It's wild. And it's not just one brewery. I mean, we have a brewery called Titletown in Green Bay, and they're, Titletown, obviously. So, all of their beers are like beer themed, but we have so many beer themed beers. And I didn't really realize this until recently. I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. So the beer, it's Wisconsin, so the beer goes hard here. But what are you drinking?
Well, I'm also starting with a lager, but I'm actually bringing something back from our Barrel and Flow days that I forgot I had here from Whims. This is a thiolized amber lager. I'm not quite sure what thiolized means. I
remember seeing that.
Yeah, that was there. They had them, so I snagged one of them. They're out of New Jersey, though. So.
Okay. So, that's a lager too?
Well, it's an amber lager, yeah. So, but I like that. It's a simple but nice label too, because it's a little rook beer with like the little things like he's a chess piece. So I thought that was cool.
Yeah, we'll get into it with our guests because what's up, Victor?
Yeah,
our guest is from your city, man. Should be great. Wait. You in New York? You ain't in New York City. Or no, the beer's from New York City.
Yeah, I don't know. Check out the color on this thing now.
New Jersey?
Well, that's where the beer's from. The beer's from New Jersey.
Okay, so what is Victor talking about here?
Don't know. Maybe he was there for Comic-Con because that was recently. Maybe he's still there. I don't know.
Oh.
But look at the color of this.
That looks like great cranberry juice.
Yeah, but it isn't. For some reason, it's definitely got a reddish hue to it, but it's a little bit more brown on my end. But man, that camera angle makes it look like it's cranberry juice, like you said.
Oh, look at that. From one beer guy to another. Look at that. Oh, Jim, we'll be talking soon about we need to get our New York City trip. Speaking of New York City.
Yeah.
We need to get up on our New York City. We need to start planning our New York City trip. Yeah. The old El Paso salsa commercials. New York City. Yeah. So,
So I want to say it's interesting when I looked up what thiolized mean, and according to what this says, thiolized is basically a yeast strain that has been modified to release thiols from malt and hops, which gives it more citrus and tropical notes. So what's funny is there's definitely lager flavors and a little bit of citrus notes to it that is unusual for a lager. It almost has a bit of a metallic taste too, and I'm not sure if that is due to the fact that I've had it in my fridge for 3 months. But I mean, that could
be some oxidation. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
Could be some monks.
it's definitely a very unique beer, and like I said, the color you can even see that's different. But yeah, there's almost like a citrusy smell on it too. So that's what dialyzed mean. I didn't even know what that meant, but yeah.
Oh, there we go. So just so y'all know, I'm not being disrespectful. I'm watching a playoff soccer game here. So I got.
Now we all know Greg's
Yeah.
a soccer head.
I'm not sure why we're playing Friday night soccer games, but here we are. Anyway, Doug.
Anywho,
Um. Oh yeah. Um. So before we get to our guests, but I'm sure he's gonna want to comment on it. Um. Real quick, I did a quick trip to New Glarus Brewing,
yeah,
one of our favorite and best breweries here in Wisconsin. Last week they had a special release. We're going to talk to our guest because I saw one of his TikToks, I believe, about Spotted Cow. So we're going to get into that a little bit. But here's a little couple clips that I had. New Glarus, as y'all know, is craft beer giant, right? I mean, they're one of the best ones, one of the bigger ones, especially here.
yeah,
They make Wisconsin brewing. It's just a really fantastic place where they are, and they recently announced this week, dog, that they're doing a 5 grand expansion on this place that I'm showing here. So New Glarus is growing, and oh no, I'm sorry, $50,000, I believe.
yeah. The 55K was what I heard. I thought that was the room, not the amount of money. I thought that was like the amount of room that they're making.
Yeah, and it's not. I mean, it's already a nice place, as y'all can see. They built on, like you could see here on the left there, like old kind of ruins thing going on there. I think there were some older buildings that were there that were on the grounds that they bought, and then they never, like, they just restored them. You know what I mean? Instead of, like, cutting them down. But
Yeah.
New Glarus it's just an amazing place, great beer, good people, all that. So regional giant. You already know, Doug. You've had their beers. You know what's up.
Yes, I do. And I thought I saw also too that some of that was going to be devoted to distilling, which is a bit of a departure from their doing just beer. So
Yeah, but you do know. I mean, from the Southern tiers to distilling's kind of an angle that a lot of craft beers are taking to diversify themselves because of how the industry is now.
yeah, even New Holland did some of
So
that with their dragon's milk stuff. So yeah.
yeah, and everybody's and we can talk to our guests about this one too. But everybody here is excited for because again we drink here. It's not just beer. We drink. This is Wisconsin. We drink, and if y'all went through our Februarys, y'all would understand why. But that aside, um, it's time to bring on our guest. So we can start here, Doug. This is his profile from I think where most people know him from.
Yeah, I would think so. For him, he just came onto my radar for a couple things for porch drinking when he was doing that. And also, obviously, his TikTok popped up in my feed because I'm a TikTok nut and I watch all that stuff. He's, I guess, like when we were talking about his bio, he sent us his bio and he'd done porchdrinking.com for like 12 years, which is a long time to be doing beer stuff.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes,
And then,
sir.
so now he's doing stuff on Instagram and TikTok under at Chicago Beer, which is pretty great handle. I'm surprised that wasn't taken, to be honest.
Well, he took it, but yeah.
Yeah.
Right. But anybody knows Mike in the beer scene from Chicago Beer. This is his Instagram, I believe. So y'all jump over there for everything Chicago Beer. But he also talks about regular beer. As you can see, he's a certified Cicerone, and he's a social media guy. I think during the day we talk about that. This is the Twitter page, Chicago Beer. And this is the TikTok page, y'all. So I think it's Chicago Beer across all platforms. But yeah, the TikTok page is fun. Oh, we'll get to that.
Yeah, oops.
Too fast.
No foreshadowing.
Don't move too fast. So, Doug, we can Yeah. Wait. New Glarus has some good beards.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
he meant. I think he meant
No, no,
beards.
no, no, no. No, 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 hold on, hold on. Don't jump, Doug. You like to jump. You like to go too fast, dude. No, no,
Like
no.
you just did.
Let's sit on that. No, no, no. New Glarus like has some good beards. I can confirm because I talked to a brewer there and he had a nice beard. Vic. So it was cool. He came out actually. I wasn't expecting. I wasn't there. I wasn't there and like doing anything. I was just there with my kids. And he just came out. He's like, "Yo, what's going on? What's up?" And I don't know. He had a nice beard. So, but yeah, like Doug said, he meant beers. But I wanted to, you know, razz Victor a little bit. Come on, let him hang a little bit, Doug. Don't let him off the hook.
Sorry.
Come on now, come on now, come on now. So anyway, without further ado, Doug, you take over here and we'll bring in
Yeah.
our guests. And
All right, so let's welcome the only guest we've ever had who comes after me alphabetically on the show, Mike Zoller, Chicago Beer. Welcome, Mike.
I'm sorry for that introduction, Mike. That was
That was pretty good. And I mean the last name thing, I will say, when you have a last name that starts with Z, if someone is after you, it is something you are surprised by it. So I totally get it.
Yeah, it is weird, but yeah. So welcome to the show, Mike. What are you drinking? What's in the glass, sir?
yes,
Uh,
yes. Let's hear
So
about it.
this is from Revolution, one of my favorite breweries here in the city. This is their Czech dark lager, and I'm gonna pronounce it right. It's Prageris. Prageris. Let's go with Prageris.
We'll go with that.
But we're in Czech dark lager season, and it's a great time of year.
Yeah, definitely. What was the ABV on that particular beer? Because that can
5.8.
5.8. Okay.
Nice and drinkable,
Yep.
approachable, wonderful.
Just under
Doug, you
6%
first or me?
Go ahead, Greg. You got it.
Mike, so one of the things I was, when Doug said you were going to be here, I was excited, is that you seem to have a really is Chicago, were you born and raised there?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So I almost knew that answer because you're a Blackhawk fan, you're a Bears fan, Cubs, right? Or the other one.
Yes. But,
Well,
Okay.
at least you're a little ahead on the Cubs thing this year because the White Sox were fucking horrendous. So
yeah,
But it's
yeah,
not both
it was
though.
fun to
It's never
watch.
both, right?
No, never both.
Never-
You can't
Okay.
be.
Okay.
Can't be both.
yeah.
Okay. Cool. So Cubs, Bears, and what about the Chicago Fire? You mess with the soccer? Or?
Yes, we actually had season tickets to the Fire this year.
Oh, I'm
So-
watching my team Atlanta lose to Messi, but it's fine.
Yeah.
Anyway,
They're not losing to a team; they're just losing to Messi. I just love the way you delivered that.
You're losing it. It's unfair what Miami is doing. But also the Fire were
Correct.
the worst team in the league. If not, they were worse in the East this year for sure. Had to be one of the worst teams in the entire MLS.
yeah, I was
Hooray.
thinking about coming last year. I might come this year for the Atlanta game. So if I do, we will.
Yep.
Let's hook up. Let's do it. But being a Chicago guy, and obviously, the moniker Chicago beer. I love the city. I've been more than a few times at this point. My family loves it. What is before we get into like the weeds about Chicago, can you just talk to us about how you love your city or you don't love your city, maybe, and maybe some of the misconceptions that people have who've never been to Chicago, because it's really simple to get an idea of a place or about a place if you've never been there. Doug in Texas, for example, things like that. Oh no, Doug's been to Texas. My bad. Anyway, go on, Mike.
No, I haven't. I've been to Texas. My apologies. Go ahead, Mike. Sorry.
You've been to Texas, absolutely.
It's a great city. Listen, Chicago's a great city. It's not without its faults. I think you have to be realistic. But no, I mean, it's a great city because it's great for food. It's great for beer. It's great for, the architecture and just touristy things to do. Like any city, there is crime. There are things. And of course, that's normal, right? I think the perception of Chicago has gotten blown up by some news outlets, and people love to take that and run with it, which is whatever. But overall, I mean, it's a fantastic city, and people come here and they visit. They're like, "Oh, I heard all these things about it," and then I get here and it's nothing like it. Of course, it's nothing like that. Like any city, any big city, is going to be the exact same way. So that's why I tell people, like, come visit Chicago. Don't come in February. That's the worst month to come in is February. Come April through October, and if you like the holidays and you want to see holiday stuff, December is pretty great too. But like April through October, it's great times.
Yeah. So Chicago, like you said, it has a lot of people that say some things about it that are untrue for their own nefarious reasons. However, what is, without getting too far, if you're going to say, what is the thing you think someone like me? I've been to Chicago once, and I was there in February actually, and that was not pleasant. It was something I had to do for work, and
okay.
I didn't have
Makes
a choice.
sense.
choice.
Okay.
So if there's something you would say that is not like a mainstream thing to do in Chicago, what is the thing that, like, if you're a person say you should go here, this is what the Chicago folks enjoy as sort of a touristy attraction that isn't touristy, if that makes sense. What is that?
Yeah. The thing that I tell everybody to do, and I do this when anyone comes into town and visit us, it's the architecture boat cruise. And it's a ton of fun. I have done it. I'm not gonna say way too many times. That has a negative connotation. I've done it a lot, but like I said, we have great architecture. We have this, we have the Chicago River that goes right through the heart of downtown, and you go on a cruise, and there's like 3 or 4 different providers that are all legit, and you learn a lot about the city. Locals love to do it. Tourists love to do it. It's a great time.
Okay, that's not something I've ever heard of, but that sounds fucking awesome. I'm weirdly interested in architecture. I'll tell you a real quick story about that. My wife and I were walking through New York City, and I'm doing wow, look at all this stuff. And my wife's smacking me in the arm, and I'm like, what? And then finally I'm like, what? And she goes, Michael Simon just walked by and you didn't even see him, like the celebrity chef Michael Simon, and that's one of her favorites because I was just like goggling at all the architecture. So that cruise sounds awesome. I would love to do that.
Highly recommend it.
Yeah, Chicago's awesome like that. You're always like looking up, like, oh my god, it's really nice here. There's only one building I don't like there, Doug, but we won't go there. But anyway, one of the better things about Chicago, one of the amazing things about Chicago is it's right on the lake there. And obviously in February that makes it not nice, and we got all that. But otherwise, I love the lake. And Doug, one of the things that I did was it was 2 years ago. We went and we caught the skyline mic from Indiana, from the dunes.
Yep.
And it's just magical. Like when you see Chicago in that light, like far away, but it's like the water's there and it's like that. It's just like Chicago's iconic. It's just the best skyline of any skyline. Sorry, y'all can argue with me in the comments. But and I know Daniel's gonna come here with New York, and I got it. New York is another, great one, but Chicago skyline is just iconic. So that's what I love about Chicago. The boat cruise is one of the first things I did when I visited Chicago. Look at that! Yeah. Look at that!
Everyone
and that one goes up the lake.
It
goes up the river, right? Is that what it does?
There are some that will go to the lake. 99% will go just through the river. There's like a 45-minute version. There's a 90-minute version. So you get to choose how long you want to be out there. They have beer on most boats, so you can drink a little while you learn, and it's a good time.
Excellent. Whoa, that was pretty good. Are you familiar with a brewery called Oliphant Brewing, Mike? You probably are.
I am. I haven't heard that name in a long, long time.
Somewhat extreme.
Oliphant Brewing.
Coffee Gold. Okay.
Yeah. So pours. Nice. Looks. I'm gonna add that. It looks kind of. So nice coffee on the nose. It's really actually nice. I'm weird about coffee beers, Mike, especially when you get out of the coffee porters and stouts, and those are easy. That's an easy one. You know what I'm saying? It gets a little bit more difficult when y'all trying to add coffee to lagers and stuff like that. So, this one's a really good one. Like a coffee Kolsch we've had before, I think Doug and I. This one's really good. I'm getting it almost comes off like a smoke beer, Doug. I'm getting smoky notes on it. It's really tasty. It's really tasty and good. Oliphant is probably like like you know how what did Sarah Palin say she could see Russia from her house? Well, from Oliphant, from Wisconsin, you could probably see the Twin Cities. It's so close. I mean, you can't, but it's really that close. Oliphant. Oliphant's good. Oliphant's also one of the leading THC seltzer places in Wisconsin, which I don't know if you want to get into that, Mike, but that's a whole nother thing up here. And it's wild because it's not legal like it is in Illinois. So it's all hemp based. Yeah. So we had this hemp bill in 2018, it was 6 years ago. And it took, I think after the pandemic, Mike, when when breweries started scrambling, as you already know, and some of them still are, with that debt and everything that they went through during the pandemic, some of these brewers up here figured out that they could put THC in seltzers and start selling them. So now it's this big boom up here. And I mean, as someone who consumes THC, I'm happy about it. But we're just like, our heads are kind of spinning because we're like, whoa, when did the recreational weed thing start here? And it never started. We just found loopholes. So now, of course, Doug, they want to shut all the loopholes. But they're not going to be able to do that unless, or not able. I don't know if they're, we're going to have a changing thing up here in Wisconsin and political. So I'm not trying to go there. It's a big whole smashy thing going on. But my point is that they're probably curb a lot of the things that are being done because these guys are putting out 50 milligram drinks and all that of THC. And that's, yeah. So
you
they
had one of those in the show.
Down. I had a 25. I don't think I had a 50.
You have a 50 milligram one time.
So yeah, it's this whole thing up here, Mike. I know y'all got it down there, legally. And it's just this whole thing up here. I don't know if I was long-winded there. I don't know if you want to comment on any of what I said, whether it be Oliphant or any of the THC stuff. You seeing that stuff down there? What's your opinion on all that?
We are. It's slow right now, but we are seeing a few breweries doing some THC seltzers. I know Mars Brewing did some. I got one brewery. It was actually just in my inbox. Let me know they're doing one. I don't know if I'm gonna break the news and announce that they're doing it, but they're gonna have some out in a little bit. They're not for me. They're not my favorite thing. I've had a few. We have one that can actually use real THC or I think it's like it's Delta 8, right? That's what the non-hemp is. So like it's not the real stuff, but either way. But I mean, overall, like it's a very small part of the drink pie right now. We'll see if it grows. It might, but right now it's slow to adopt at breweries for sure.
And real quick, and then I'll let me follow up, Doug, and then you can jump in. So then we talk about THC. Can you talk about seltzers? Do you feel that's on the decline too? Like, because they were all the rage, during the pandemic and immediately after.
Yeah, I mean, seltzers in general are. I mean, there was a time when every brewer was trying to make it seltzer. Not as much anymore. We're seeing a bigger push right now into hop waters. And we had a big hop water phase here earlier this year. There's still a bunch out there, but hop water has become like this next non-beer beverage that breweries are making.
What do you think about them?
Oh, I love hop waters. I will drink as much hop water as I can. The only problem is their price point. They're pretty high for what they are, but they're delicious. Like, I mean, and now we're seeing breweries try to flavor them. Breweries are like in beer, you can change the hop combo, and you can use more Citra and get a more citrusy, what do you call it, flavor. So like, there's a lot you can do with them, but again, it's going to be about the price point. You have the Lagunitas 12 pack that goes for $18. That's not appealing to people because if it's not going to have alcohol in it, what are you going to do? But I'm going to tell you, those are some of the best out there, if not the best. Hop waters are from Lagunitas right now. And I agree with this comment here. Hop water over NA beer, 100% agree.
Okay, so I'm sorry, Doug. I got to get another one in here.
Go ahead.
Aloe kind of stole my thunder here a little bit. Not stole it, but so I was going to ask you, and you already answered. Do you like hop water above NA beers? But where does NA beers fit in Chicago scene as far as all this goes too? Because they're, that's in the mix too with the hop. Because I consider hop waters not NA beers, and I consider seltzers not beers.
Yep.
And I consider THC seltzer clearly not beers, but there all seem to be this myriad of what brewers are now opening themselves up to.
Yeah, breweries are making beverages that are not beer in hopes of attracting more people who want to come to the brewery to drink things that are not beer. And breweries are not becoming, they are common areas. There's common spaces, right? You don't necessarily have to go to a brewery, as crazy as it sounds, just to drink beer. A lot of them have food, and there's we can go hold down a route of kid-friendly breweries and all that. But breweries are realizing that people are coming with a group of friends, and not everyone wants to drink beer. So you have to have some other options. That's where THC drinks, THC seltzers, NA beers, hop water, wine. Some breweries are getting into distilling now to offer, some spirit options. But if you want to expand your customer base, you got to expand outside of beer if that's the route you want to go. Now, obviously, a lot of breweries in Chicago are only doing beer, and they're doing quite well. But some are trying to expand to get others out there.
Doug?
So what's interesting for me is hop water. I'm a little bit more in tune with NA beer versus hop water. I will say there is a hop water that Oma Gang makes that I think is fucking outstanding. I would drink all day long. But the price point is I get a 4-pack of 16-ounce cans, and I think that's $12. That's a lot for hop water. So yeah, price point is hard. So, but I will buy a 4-pack, and that will last me a couple weeks because I'll have one here and there with dinner, or if I'm just sitting around, I don't want any booze. But yeah, I'm more inclined to go towards. If I'm gonna go, I'm probably gonna go NA beer because I like the taste of beer. And I get that some people go, well, the NA beer doesn't quite taste like beer. Agreed. Especially if you're going in a darker style, that tends to not be good. I mean, I've talked a couple of times about Athletic makes a Gosa that tastes just like any regular Gosa you could have. It's a downwinder, and that tastes awesome. But most of them, you can definitely tell the difference. But yeah, I like hot waters. I think Daniel said that he was very much sort of in the middle. You want something a little more filling. That's where I fall. Like sometimes I just want something a little more filling. But I just think you're right, Mike. So if you want to expand your base, you're going to have to go a little bit farther out than just beer. But yeah, like I said, some breweries just aren't interested in that, and some are. So, oh, that's interesting, Aloe.
I don't think I've actually ever had hop water out of a draft. I think I've only had it in cans. Even at the breweries where I've gone to, I actually don't know of any breweries in Chicago that have it on draft. Now that's interesting. I'm trying to think if I've seen it anywhere. But I've only had it in cans.
Yeah, and I like the hop waters because sometimes you're drinking all day and you want to keep drinking. You want something tasty, but you don't want to have a beer. So I hear a lot of people are beer, one hop water, one beer, one hop water, one beer, one NA, one beer, one seltzer. So people are using them as a as a buffer or just something to mix it up. So I don't know.
Hop waters have been really popular at beer festivals. So Great Taste of the Midwest, tons of hop water options, which to your point, Greg, is like a nice buffer, right? Have a couple of samples of beer. Now I have hop water at FOBAB, which is coming up last year. Revolution had their hop water Zero Hero lounge, and all they were doing in that area was doing hop water. And it'll be back again this year, and it's a great option. Like I will drink so much hop water at a beer festival because it's water, right? It's a good break, but they've become really big at beer festivals.
Yeah, that's we've
Hmm.
had what, Greg? How many people we've had? We've had Doug Balicki, and we've had Maggie Skinner, who's a rep for Revolution, talk about that, I believe. And yeah, there's Doug Balicki's like account. I don't know. I didn't see that, Daniel. I'll have to
He
look to
did,
see if he
yeah,
did that.
yeah. I mean, it's pretty similar, like because you're still using hops, right? And hops are the driver of cost in beer. And so if you're using a lot of hops in hop water, that's why the price
Mm,
goes up. It's all about the hops you use.
yeah.
Mm. And that's why people are like, "Why is this double IPA $9?" Yeah, it's because they literally probably put $15 of hops in there.
It's always going to be
Not really,
hops.
but you know what I mean. Especially, I don't think people understand the exotic hop part, Mike. Where like some of these hops come from New Zealand, literally, and
Mhm.
that those prices catch up. I don't think people make that connection sometimes, especially our bigger beers and all that, like our big double IPAs, those things, they're usually on the higher end of the price thing. So, Mike, are you seeing or you can comment on my IPA question, but are you seeing prices come down in Chicago, or are prices stable there as far as beer goes? I've actually noticed, especially in what I know you're probably familiar with Woodman's. I saw in Woodman's up here markedly kind of a push a little bit down. A couple months ago, I walked in and I was like, "Oh wow!" And then what I saw was a lot of like red labels, meaning a lot of like they're marking it down, and a lot of that could be inventory not moving, as you probably already know, and they just need to get rid of it. So I saw a really mix of that. Are you seeing prices either come down, or are they still stable, or what's going on in Chicago there?
Prices are stable. I haven't seen prices come down. What people might think prices are coming down because breweries are making more lagers now. We might have finally entered the year of the lager after 8 years of saying this is the year of the lager. I think we're finally here. But lager prices are naturally going to be lower than IPAs. And I think as you're starting to see more lagers on the shelf, premium lagers especially, you're going to see prices be lower. And it's not that beer prices in general are lower, just lagers are lower priced than IPAs. And so that's what we're starting to see. So if anyone is thinking, oh, I think it is, especially here in Chicago, like if it is lower, it's not necessarily lower. It's just you're seeing more of a style.
Mike, why do you say this is finally the year of the lager? What's going on this year that makes you feel that way?
Everything is cyclical, right? And for the craft beer boom, people were just drinking lagers. There were IPAs out there, but let's be honest, every beer that was being, not every again, most of the beers being brewed were lagers. Craft beer boom happens in early 2000, starts to pick up speed in 2012, gets really big in 14, and now we're in IPAs, hazy IPAs with Treehouse coming out, the Alchemist, and hazy IPAs. Well, what do they have a lot of? Hops, and people like that. That was what got a lot of people into craft beer. And IPAs were the thing for years and years. And look, IPAs are still very, very popular. But everything is cyclical. And so now what we're starting to see is people wanting to drink lower ABV beers that kind of remind them of the early, we're going back to before craft beer. But the cool thing is that these breweries that are craft breweries, or how you want to call it, they're making really, really good lagers. And people are starting to jump on those, being like, oh, I don't want a macro. Well, this is close to a macro, but it tastes better. And people are beginning to see this and be like, oh, this is fantastic. And so now lagers, one, they're cheaper price. And with the economy the way it is, you don't want to spend $16 on a 4-pack. And it's the taste. Like you don't want a 7% IPA on a Tuesday night. You want a 12-ounce, 4.2% lager. And we're starting to see them become a lot more popular. Again, IPAs still very popular. Lagers are just picking it up right now.
Yeah, and to that point, I mean, we've even had Rhythm Brewing, and they just do lagers, and that's what they make their money on. They just make lagers, and they're excellent lagers. So yeah. Before we move on, this is what I want to talk. This is the one I still have left. Is the hop water from Omegang.
I didn't smell it. You know, they send me a lot of their stuff. They've never sent me a hot water. I got to tell them to
Yeah,
get.
yeah. They, I'm telling you, if you like hop water, this is super good.
Okay,
It's brewed with ginger and lemon peel, so it's got that nice citrusy flavor with it too, which is nice. So, but it's really refreshing. So, I have a second beer, Greg, and I got it specifically for you. But let's talk about Daniel's thing. Have you had the Black Butte NA from Deschutes? I had that. That I thought was really good.
Yes,
Did you have that, Mike?
I have. I will say this: NA beer, darker NA beers, I think are so much better than NA lagers and IPAs. I have had Deschutes NA beers, and yes, I think that it is a pretty good one.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that one. That was me. All right, Greg, are you ready? Are you ready? Because this is for you. It's out.
Oh,
Matt Elf.
oh, for fuck's sakes.
Greg just likes this beer, and it's my favorite Christmas beer every year.
It's not. I don't dislike it like some others. How about that?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Some people have a real vehemence against it. But
Yeah.
yeah.
You're
And
thinking
also,
of that McKeever guy.
yeah, him and Matt Clark, those two guys.
Oh, Matt Clark too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
yeah.
I managed to get a spooky bottle opener too, a coffin bottle opener. So I'm gonna use that for spooky. So inaugural one.
Oh yeah, Halloween, I'm not planning to talk about that shit, but anyway.
Yeah.
Y'all act like those guys act like Mad Elf is fucking Malort or something, so I don't know what the hell's going on.
I have Malort here too, but I'm not drinking that on here now.
And Mike's here, so I had to bring up Malort. I mean, there's just you can't have a Chicago beer or alcohol person on and not mention Malort. So, I've avoided this shit until this age of my life, so I'm happy. But it's not. Doug, you're supposed to send me some.
It's not that bad. It really isn't. I think the lure of Malort is actually what people are most scared about. I'm being very honest here. If you tell me to do a shot, any shot, I will do Malort over anything.
I have had Malort. I have it sitting right here at my desk, and I have had this Malort on this show twice, and both times it tasted like fucking gasoline to me. But that's maybe I just don't have the right taste buds for it.
Malort is lower in, so it does not burn. It's bitter, yeah, it's bitter. It doesn't burn, and people don't realize this. It is a digestive. So if you're not feeling well, if your stomach's a little full, you have a big dinner and you want to go out and keep drinking, take a shot of Malort before you will feel better.
Wow.
Your taste buds.
We literally have
you'll feel better.
We literally have a Malort apologist here, Doug. What are we gonna do with this?
Well, remember when I had it on the show the first time, we had Gil and Victor, who are Chicago natives, being like, yes. And they both said they have bottles of it in their house. And I'm like, okay.
I got some right over here. Yeah,
and then you're supposed
to have a bottle. You always have to have a bottle.
What is this? What is the Chicago handshake?
What is this, Mike?
Chicago handshake is an old style and a shot of Malort. You can get it for about $7-8 most places, but it's classic.
April just being like, that's the worst. Sorry, that was just funny because I was not expecting that.
What half is worse for you? Oh my goodness. Oh wow. Oh wow. Oh wow. Oh wow. Yeah, what is that, Doug? What
the mini bottles?
It's a mini bottles. A friend of mine sent me
I'm gonna get my big bottle. I'll be right back.
Oh my god.
I got that a year ago and I still have half of it left. It is. He's right. It doesn't burn. That is something that, the way it tastes, you would expect it to, and it does not. That's true.
Yeah, but he's not right about that being the first thing that you do shots for. Like, what is? I haven't even had it, and I know that's blasphemy.
Actually, it's almost gone. Just been sipping on Malort the whole time.
Yeah. So, do you have it?
My
Do you
God.
have do you have the elements for a Chicago handshake with you? Just a Malort though.
Just a Malort. I don't have Old Style in my house. I love Old Style, but it is a situational beer. It is a game day beer. Wrigley Field. I see it on the shelves. It's dirt cheap. It's like $4.99 for a 4-pack at Walgreens down the street. I just never buy it. Here, you guys. That's it.
Cheers, man.
Ooh, that's a good smell right there.
Oh,
See, my superpower, if I had one, is I can do Malort, and
No.
you don't get people doing those like crazy, like, oh, like, no, you just.
Mm-hmm.
have you ever on TikTok seen the unemployed wine guy?
I have, yes.
And he does Malort mixes and stuff, and he's very funny. He's very funny, but
He's
I'm not
good.
sure.
Yeah, his content's great.
He did a recent series where he's like would go to bars and say, "Give me your worst shot," and they would do these awful mixes. And he just drink. Wow.
Why?
You can make cocktails with Malort. We actually have a canned spritz made by Mars Brewing here that has Malort. You have to obviously mix it with a whole bunch of stuff. Usually it's grapefruit, soda water, but it's not bad. It's not bad. Again,
I could weirdly see grapefruit working with Malort.
it does. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Hmm.
Like
Not that I'll do that.
shot for me is totally fine. I would prefer to do that over a tequila shot, some cheap
What? Don't you
Oh,
dare.
that's blasphemy to Greg. Greg is a tequila lover.
Absolutely. It's almost time though. Also, these bottles are like $19.90. They're $20.
You get what you pay for, Mike.
I think it's a steal.
That's fair. Like, meanwhile, I got Scotch bottles over there that are like fucking 5 times that price.
So, and this is where Mike's gonna be like, like I don't pay less than like $60 a bottle for tequila, so he can have 3 bottles of Malort for that. So he's gonna go with that.
Oh Lord.
Right. All right. Well, I said we weren't going to talk about Halloween, but I got something for y'all. No, Daniel, no.
Campari. By the way, Campari's fucking awful too. But
Right, that's why I was saying no.
Campari might be worse than Malort, but yeah.
So Doug, we'll let our guest answer first because then we can heckle him. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So
good.
here you go. This is the food shaming part of our. We didn't warn you that we might food shame you, Mike, but you've been warned
each
now.
other
actually.
too, so don't worry.
Yeah, you've been warned right now. So here you go. You might get food shamed here, and so might everybody else. So here is the question that I need you to answer. How do you feel about candy corn, Mike? Is it no pain? Is it discomforting? Is it tolerable? Is it very distressing? Or is it excruciatingly unbearable?
So can I ask? Is it? Do I enjoy it, or can I eat it with no pain? Like, are you asking me like if I really enjoy candy corn, or like?
I think judging by the candy corn faces on there, like the no pain means you like it.
Gotcha. I'm probably a 2. I'm a 2. I don't mind it. Like Malort, I think people get over the top about candy corn. It's not. I'd say I'm probably like a 2.5. Can I be in the middle between 2 and 3?
Sure.
I'd say I'm a 2.5.
Okay. So it's between discomforting and tolerable, but it's fine. It's fine. You're not gonna.
Yeah. I mean, if it's out there, I will eat it. Now, circus peanuts. I think circus peanuts are the worst thing ever made. But that's
circus peanuts are like couch stuffing, like what they stuff couch with.
Yeah, those are awful.
Yeah.
Doug?
I am probably at tolerable. I don't dislike them, but I don't like them either. They're kind of meh. What's weird is the ones that are shaped like pumpkins, which are basically the same things, they're just different dye and different dye. But I like those. I don't know why the pumpkin ones are different to me, but they are. And they don't taste like pumpkin either. They're candy corn, but in a pumpkin shape. And for some reason, I'm more tolerable.
I knew there was going to be at least one. Candy corn is the worst. You have like there's always one. So Brett's not gonna like this, but I'm a one. What's the problem? I don't see the problem. You eat the top one, you eat the top part first, and then you eat the bottom, y'all, and then there's a whole little thing. You have to go through the whole process of it. Right. I don't have a problem with candy corn. I mean, I liked it more when I was young, but I'm not adverse to it. It's not like it's licorice or anything gross like that. So um,
Mike made a face there. What was that face, Mike?
Black licorice is the worst thing out there. Like that shouldn't even be invented. What people who like that is like, what is going on?
Okay, question. Yeah, if you don't like black licorice, how you feel about sambuca?
Gross.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it at all. I was like, I'm trying to think the last time I had it, and it's been forever because I don't like the taste.
Well, I was gonna say the only licorice kind of thing I can mostly tolerate is when you have those notes in beers, Mike. You know, sometimes what's the porter? What's the lager porter? Damn, why am I forgetting this? What's the lager porter, Doug? What's the lager porter?
I'm baffled too.
The bigger one. The bigger porter. It's like 9 ABV. Daniel, what is it?
Daniel will know it. I can't think of it.
Yeah, April knows it too. Y'all know what I'm talking about. It's the what's the porter? Baltic porter. Thank you, Aloe. Yes, Baltic porter have those, you know, they have that undercurrent, that current, prunish sometimes, licorice sometimes. I can tolerate that in beer. I can't, otherwise I can't fuck with. Yeah, thanks.
Belgian beers can sometimes have some
some licorice.
Some licorice.
Too. Yeah.
Doubles can do those as well.
Yeah, and I can tolerate that, but I can't just tolerate. And then when y'all do like straight licorice beers, nah, I'm not. I can't do that. Oh,
one of the. Wow.
Oh, that's bringing back one that Greg and I both were like, that is terrible.
Maybe one of the worst beers ever made.
And produced, like, put out into the world.
Thank you. I gotta go find my clap because that's.
I clap for that too, Mike. Well said.
Yeah.
While we're here, Mike, are you? So I'm just not a fan of fruited stouts. I'm just not. I can't like, especially when it's just like, so it's if it's like a blackberry stout, it has to have more adjuncts. I almost need to go like to Doug's 17 adjuncts.
Yeah, that's me.
Throw some of them are fruit, I can do it. But if this is like straight like strawberry stout, I just can't. Are you? And that's where Lizard of Cos ends for me mostly. But that beer was, in my opinion, that beer was flawed. It just had too much blueberry. It was just awful. But anyway, Mike, where you stand with the fruited beers or the fruited sour stouts, just in general? Not fruited beers are amazing. Don't get me wrong. Fruited beers are awesome.
We're probably spoiled here in Chicago that we do stouts, fruited stouts, very, very well. Oh, where did I go? Am I still here?
Yellow.
There I am. That was weird. We do fruited stouts very well here in Chicago. I will say the one fruit that I don't think does well on a stout is blueberry. Lizard of Cos is a great example. Northwood, Bourbon County Northwoods was the blueberry one that is my least favorite Bourbon County of all time. Great Notions Blueberry Pink. Yeah, that's okay. Sorry, I saw the comment pop up. Because there's so much syrup in that beer and maple, it masks the blueberry. But back to the original question.
That's a good one.
We have some incredible fruited stouts. Revolution makes some very, very good ones. Bramble, Beef by Bramble came out just this past weekend. My favorite of the release. Goose has done some really good ones. I'm trying to think who else has from the fruited side. Not a lot of breweries are doing straight fruit stouts because of the expense. You have to get a lot of fruit to do them. But we have some very good ones.
Excellent. Doug?
Yeah, I'm with you, Greg. Maybe it's just a dearth of not having a lot of good fruited stouts here. So like the one that I don't like that I really dislike when they put it in beers, whether it be stouts or porters, is raspberries. I don't like raspberries in beer. I just, for some reason, it's just
but you don't like raspberries, period.
No, I like eating them. I don't like them in beer. I don't like them in
Oh.
beer.
Hmm.
But for some reason, I just feel like it just throws off the flavor profile, especially if it's something like if it's stouts or like with porters with how roasty they are. I don't feel like it meshes well. Like, how do you guys feel about raspberry with those kind of like stouts and porters?
So we have a beer in Chicago called Claire's Thirsty Ale. It's a stout made by Haymarket, which is one of the OGs of craft beers.
Haymarket.
And they make Claire's Thirsty Ale as a raspberry stout. Fantastic beer. But I think to your point, Doug, you're right. Like, it's such an easy fruit to overpower the beer. You might have just way too much. The good breweries can balance it out, and Claire's Thirsty is excellent.
Thanks, Victor. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's a balance for me. Like, there has to be a balance between. I still want to taste the stout. Otherwise, if you're just gonna make a fruit beer, cut the stout out, and make a fruit beer, and I'll drink that. But like, there's a balance there, and I still want to taste the stout, and that's why I kind of criticize sometimes Doug's 18, adjuncts, because sometimes you can't. Sometimes you can't, like, sometimes you're like, wait, is this a stout or what the hell's going on here? So that's kind of it's really my critiquing and me taking craft beer to a goofy level, so it's not. I'm a stout pierce, like I'm a chocolate pierce. I don't like fruit messing with the richness. Okay, Aloe. Respect there. Mike, we're less than a month away, and I still have not decided whether I am going to Fobab or not this year. I'm pretty much clear to go. I haven't decided whether I actually want to come down for it. So, can you describe everybody what that is and the significance of it as far as being a Chicago person? I'm not a Chicago person, so I just drop in and I think it's amazing. I love it. But how does a Chicago beer person look at Fobab?
Yeah, I mean, there are 3 beer festivals that I get excited for. That's it each year. Great American Beer Festival in Denver, Great Taste of the Midwest in Madison,
Check.
and Fobab. That's it.
Check.
That's it.
Okay.
Fobab is an awesome event. It is the largest festival of barrel-aged beers. And it's not just stouts. I think you gotta clear the air. It's not just big 12% stouts. There are fruit beers, there are sour beers, there are pale ales, there are all different types of beers. They're just
ciders.
And I think it's any beer lover should do Fobab at least once. It's an incredible time. It's a 4-hour session. You drink some of the best barrel-aged beers in the country. And I don't know what else, how else to describe it, but it's in the new location. This is the 3rd year in its new location. It's a great spot for it. It's worth going.
What's the new location?
It's the it's the Credit One Pavilion.
Okay. I've been in the new location.
Campus.
Okay.
Credit Union One Arena. That's what it is.
Okay.
Yeah, and what plays there? A minor league hockey team, right? Or
that's UIC Flames, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the Flames. Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess I was there 3 years ago. Because I was at the new facility. So the thing that jumped off to me, Mike, I just got it because I'm like, oh man, this is just going to be a sour and stout fest. And when you walk in, Doug, it's an arena. So you know how when you walk in an arena, they have that ring that usually goes around
Yep.
the corridor or whatever you call it. So their, Doug, is where, well, at least the year I went, they had all the stouts. And it was just a big ring of stout, like barrel-aged stouts, and it was wild. And I was like, and this is my first time, Mike, so I didn't know what the hell really was going on. And I'm like, whoa. I walk in, Doug, and I'm like, whoa, I can't be drinking barrel-aged stouts all day. Like, what the heck is going on here? So then you walk into the arena, Doug, and on the floor is where they had every other barrel-aged IPA, lagers, stouts, ciders, meads. It was amazing. And that's where I hung out, actually. I didn't really hang out with the barrel-aged stouts. I was there. I had a couple, Doug. And then Goose usually does. I don't know if they've been doing it, Mike. But when I was there, Goose had their own little like thing outside. and they were doing like they're doing like time tastings where you would come out at a time and they would have like a different variant, Doug, of their wonderful BCS beer. It was amazing. It was amazing. It was amazing. But then I hung out down on the floor and I just had such a good time down there, Mike. Like I didn't even want to go up, to the back. I didn't even want to fuck with the big, the big stouts. I was like, no, I'm good on the big stouts. They could be heavy, Doug, and a lot of sugar sometimes with them. But the barrel aged IPAs and all that stuff, Mike, that was my biggest surprise. And that's when I talk about Fobab to other people, that's what I say. I was like, you can go and get all kinds of different wonderful barrel aged beers, especially on styles, Mike, that you wouldn't even think would be good in a barrel.
Yeah, it's a great time. Like there's so much creativity there, and you're gonna have a lot of great beers, and you're gonna have a lot of bad beers too. Like not everything's gonna be a good one, but like that's the joy of like a beer festival. You can just drop, pour it out when you're done, or if you don't like it. But yeah, like I said, everyone should go to Fobab. It's where you can try. For most people, it'll be their first time trying the Bourbon County variants for the year. Will be at Fobab, unless you get access to Rare Day this year. You will try Phase 3, you'll try Maplewood, like all these great Chicago breweries and breweries from other areas too, but they're all there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It is a
question for you. Sorry. Why are you broadcasting from a control room? Sorry. Anyway.
This is my office. I was filming.
But that is literally your control room. Then
you can see the tripods up there.
Okay. I'm sorry, Doug. What were you going to say about Fobab?
I say Fobab is a bucket list festival for me. I know your great taste of the Midwest, Mike. I will say that the best beer festival I've ever been to was Barrel and Flow. Greg and I have been there for the last 3 years. That is a phenomenal. It is just, I can't even express how much I enjoyed that beer festival. I've never been to Great Taste of Midwest either, and I have not been to GABF. But I'm going to start. I was talking to my wife when I mentioned the Fobab to my wife. She was like, "I cannot have you going to a festival where you're just going to drink fucking stouts all day because you'll be a mess." And I was like, "No." And then Greg's like, "No. Like the whole town is like all these different things, and that's where I can have barrel aged stouts. I love barrel aged stouts." But my interest would be in what's the unique things people are doing in barrel aging.
There's so much
and especially things. And my real focus would be gin barrel aging things, because the few beers that I've had that have been gin barrel aged have been just really super interesting and good. And that would be something I'd be really interested in. So maybe I can figure out how to make. Yeah, maybe I can make my way to Fobab next year or the year after is what I'm hoping to do. So.
Yeah. I don't know. Talking about it, Mike, is making me want to go. So if I see you, I will hit you up. I usually hang out or try to hang out with ABC, but I missed her, and she still continues to give me shit about that. But whatever. Yeah.
Well, our guy Victor said you better hit him up if you come to Chicago too. So.
Well, I don't like to hit up people when I come to town. You know this.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, we're well aware.
Anyway, shut up, Doug. But now that I name dropped her, I will have to say next week, y'all, we are doing Black Women Speak on Craft Culture special for y'all. We got April Dove, we got ABC, we got Angie, and we got Hannah Ferguson. We are all friends to the stream. Y'all have seen them all here more than once. For many of them actually. But Doug and I are excited to have the women talk about craft beer, the craft culture. Angie messes with the distilleries. Hannah is literally a professional cider maker. ABC, obviously, y'all know who she is and her impact and things. And of course, April is a badass brewer in South Carolina. So Doug and I are looking forward to that. Jump in, y'all. You might not see us, you might see us. Doug and I are just we sparked the conversation, and we're just gonna see to the background and let the ladies talk about everything in the craft culture. So that should be fun. And yeah, the more I stay away, the less ABC can get at
me. Give you shit,
because she's a porter hater, Mike, and I just can't deal with that. So we have our own little thing going on. So anyway, Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Yeah. So if y'all don't see us like literally on screen, it's because we're behind screen. We'll be chilling. It's gonna be kind of a special show. We're gonna let the ladies take over. So not let them. They're going to take over. In fact, we didn't let anything. They just took over. That's
Yeah.
how it
Shout
works.
out to you, Greg, for coming up with that idea too.
Yeah, and shout out to the ladies for getting it done. April's going to be the moderator, so that's going to be fun, and we're going to make sure that they get to speak and talk about whatever they get to want to talk about. We know ABC's down to, she's down to spill some tea, so
And stir the
y'all
pot.
need to, yeah, y'all need to, and she's always on point, so you can't really argue with that. But so yeah, Mike, being from Chicago, one of the things that Doug and I disagree on is that Doug does not believe that Chicago style deep dish pizza is pizza. He thinks it's pie or some goofy shit. We can get into that right now if you want. Yeah, I don't know, Mike. I don't get it either, but maybe Doug can explain himself, and I don't know. I don't know what to say to him. But I do. One of the things that fascinates me about Chicago is you mentioned it. Chicago's an amazing food city. Outside of Doug being a hater, Chicago is a is a Doug. I'll let you explain yourself before Mike gets into you. But Chicago's a majorly wonderful food city. It's hard to make choices when you go there as someone who's not there. When you say "give me the best," tell me the best Chicago style pizza, you may literally get 15 answers. So and that's because y'all got big ones, y'all got small ones, y'all got mom and pop, y'all got, it's just amazing there. So um I'll let Doug respond to the charges that I levied against them, and then let's get to your favorite Chicago style pizzas, and then also I want to get to your favorite, if you're willing to go out on a limb and say what your favorite breweries are. You already actually said one, and Doug and I love Revolution. We've had three people from Revolution on this stream at least, or two from Revolution. ABC's
And ABC doing
Revolution
a
adjacent for
cocktail.
sure. And yeah. So Doug, can you want to respond to the charges that I called you a hater for hating Chicago style pizza and not admitting that it's pizza and calling it something else and calling it out of his name and being disrespectful to it?
I can absolutely defend my position here. Here's what I will say. I said deep dish is not pizza, it's pie. It's delicious pie. I think that a better pizza for Chicago-ish tavern style with the thin crust, I think that is excellent. And I love that stuff. So I want to make it clear. It's not that I hate Chicago deep dish pizza. I just don't think it's pizza. That's my thing. All right, Mike, give it to me.
I mean, listen, at the end of the day, pizza is bread, cheese, sauce, toppings. However you want to call it whatever you want, right? John Stewart went off on his soapbox about it being a casserole, and that's what sparked all of this casserole talk. We
A casserole?
Chicagoans that don't give it the love are hurting it. It is true that we don't eat it that often. And
it's fucking this thick.
It's too thick.
Yeah, you did one big slice, you'd be like, Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah, you're one or two slices and you're done. And so like we are eating tavern thing costs way more. But anyone says they don't like it, I mean, like, it's delicious. It is. If it was, I don't know, to say healthy, if it was not as bad as it would be, I'd be eating it all the time. It's excellent. It's so good. It's so cheesy, and you get some really good crusts on there. You got all different types of crusts, but it's expensive. It takes a lot of time. Takes a long time to make. It's not healthy for you. Not that pizza is meant to be healthy, but thin crust is where we go a whole lot more. That is true. But I am not a hater of deep dish. I love deep dish. I just don't eat it as often.
Again, I will say I think it's tasty, but one slice will do you for that stuff. That's for
probably one or two. I can usually do two if I'm hungry. Maybe 1.5.
Yeah, I will say there is a pizza that is made in Pennsylvania that is pierogi pizza. So it's basically potato pizza. And that shit is like, you eat one slice of that and you're ready to take a fucking nap. Because that shit is just all carbs and cheese. It's like, oh boy. And then you just pass out. So yeah.
So
I got something for Ren. Hold on.
Okay. What's up, Red? How you doing? Nice to see you here. So right after Doug gets back from not sure what he's doing, oh, he's got a mead. You got a mead, don't you? You got a mead, don't you?
Oh, I got mead. Watch, coffee mead from Mulinated Meadery.
What?
Coffee mead.
What?
I have caramelized honey aged on bourbon staves mead.
Mm.
And then the other one I got was Thanksgiving side cranberry orange mead from our guy Ren.
The cranberry orange sounds amazing. The coffee sounds respectfully terrible.
He said this was his favorite, and Ren.
Oh, now listen. I know it's not terrible because it's our boy. I know it. I know it's not terrible. It just It's just making those connections.
Yeah, it seems like a weird. It seems like a weird mix.
Right.
But
if Ren did it, put it in a bottle, and put it out, then I know it's good.
Yep. So I can't wait. I'm going to see, since we know that stuff can keep. I'm going to try to keep I might keep the coffee one for us so we can have it at Barrel and Flow next year.
Really nice. Mike, real quick before we get back.
Sorry about that diversion, Mike.
Pizza. Mike, do you mess with mead? Do you have mead? Do you like mead? Where are you at with mead?
I enjoy mead. I don't seek it out. Put it that way.
Yeah, well, that Ren just happens to be a friend of ours, and he makes really good mead. But yeah, sorry to interrupt, Greg.
Okay. Also, Mike, this isn't me, so y'all Chicago people can argue this out. He's never called it Tavern Pizza, so I don't.
And Victor's a Chicagoan.
The thin pizza is called Tavern, right? Or no? Or
I mean,
no. What am I missing, Mike?
Tavern style. It originated in taverns, which is how it got its name, right? So the history of tavern style. Do we have a minute? I'll share the history. So for a long time, taverns didn't have food, right? You weren't serving food. And so what they would do is they'd get these very thin crust pizzas. They heat them up in the back in like a very janky pizza oven or whatever, and they put them out on the bar. They were cut into squares because it's meant to be a snack. Something where you have a beer, you have a square or two. It's not meant to be a meal. It's meant to keep you at the bar and drinking, and that is how I got the name Tavern Style. Now, Tavern Style, the name has picked up popularity absolutely in the last 5-6 years. Thin crust is fine too, but the origins are Tavern Style, and so that's why we revert back to history calling it Tavern Style.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing, I'm trying to remember if it was Jenny Flaffen who was talking about like
Mike's a new kid.
Yeah, but I think Jenny Flaffen was saying like the Chicago pizza is actually tavern pizza. That was, I think, her take. I read that a while ago.
Yeah, and like Chicago's is, and because it, and people, other cities try to say where it started, but for Chicago, it started in our taverns. Milwaukee has a version, I know. St. Louis obviously has a very thin crust pizza with a very different crust and cheese. Kind of thing. Whenever I talk about thin crust pizza, people from every city try to claim it as their own. I usually debunk the myth pretty fast. History still puts it squarely in Chicago as the starting point. And because it's so great, other cities have adopted it as their own, which is fine. But yes, it originated in Chicago taverns.
Greg, go ahead. Sorry.
No, we're gonna say Doug.
I was going to talk about quick Altoona and Old Forge style pizza out of Pennsylvania. That's the worst pizza ever. Just the worst. Just the worst. Look those up on your leisure, Mike. You will be grossed out.
Mike, let's talk about real quick. We can get to that, but let's talk about while we're here. So we talked. I asked you about your favorite Chicago style pizza. So this was one of them.
Yeah, I'm a yellow again. I don't know why I'm yellow. Yeah, I mean, again, when I'm not eating a ton of deep dish, but Art of Pizza, this is one of those like the local ones, right? You got your big ones, Giordano's, Lou Malnati's, Gino's East, Uno. Those are all great. They're very touristy. where you start to see what the locals are going. Art of Pizza is one of those places that is just excellent. I used to live like pretty much around the corner from it, and would go there by the slice. And pizza by the slice, people think it's like New York style pizza by the slice, but we can also do deep dish by the slice, and it's great.
I hope not.
No, geez.
Anyway,
the bad
so
pun.
I was surprised that this one was one that you added to your list.
Oh, Lulonati's delicious.
Okay. Well, the only reason I was surprised is because it's the one that I noticed, and it's probably the most commercial one that you gave me. So
Yeah.
that's why I was like, "Whoa, that's a surprise."
They've expanded quite a bit. They're in Arizona. They're in Indianapolis,
Wisconsin.
Are they in Wisconsin now? They have brick and mortar.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yep.
Giordano's is also pretty commercial. Giordano's is in Florida. I know that. They're in a few other states. But Lou Malnati's to me is just like one of those. I've always gravitated towards it. They also have really good thin crust. If you want to talk about deep dish places that have good thin crust, Lou's thin crust is really good.
And then this is the last one you gave me is the one that I almost every person from Chicago that I asked says this one.
Yeah, and it's funny because 5 years ago, Pequod's was the local place. No one outside the city really talked about it, and then we started talking about it a lot. And then they won like best. I think Yelp named them the best pizza in the country, and then they just blew up. But this is my personal this is an Art of Pizza, like my personal favorites. I love Pequod's. I don't live too far from it. I could walk there if I wanted to. It's so good. What make them unique is they have their caramelized crust. It's delicious.
Oh, I missed that comment.
Yeah. Well, that's okay.
I agree, Manny. Manny. We got two. We're good. Yep. Question here. Our friend Ren wants to know if you had to choose what's best.
It's probably it changes all the time, but it's probably Pequod's is my number one.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa! What is this? Sorry, Greg, we hit it at the same time. What is this?
So that's Oven Grinder, Pizza and Oven Grinder. We do have a place that does pizza pot pies, and they are very good. It's on Clark Street. It's in Lincoln Park. It is very close to the Lincoln Park Zoo. But yeah, pizza and oven and pizza, Chicago Pizza and Oven Grinders. Yeah, you have to look it up. I don't know if I can explain it properly, but it's a social media's content creator's dream because you can take a video of them taking it out of it's a pot pie. It's very good, but it's very different. You have to Google it. I can't explain it better.
Okay, because pot pie is one of my all-time favorite fucking things ever to eat, and that just
what the hell is this? What in the hell?
So it's a pot pie that's a pizza? How? I know you said it's hard to explain, but try, please, because my brain is.
No. We don't have to.
It is kind of a pot pie. Like the dough is certain. Like they literally at your table will scoop it out of the bowl and put it in front of you. And there's two versions. There's a meat version and a non-meat version because they're all pre-made pretty much. Like it's a system and it's so good.
April Dove just may have gotten the worst food take I've ever heard. April.
Yes.
Oh my
wrong.
God.
She's wrong.
You hurt my heart, April. You hurt my heart.
Doug, what do you expect out of a Drake fan? Just saying.
Oh, that really.
And no, I'm not sorry about that either. No, I'm not. This is what is that it, Mike? Is that how it looks?
Yes. That's a mini one, so that's not doing it full justice, but that's pretty close. That's pretty close.
Okay, here I have another one here. I got another one here. Yeah, this is kind of wild. What is going on?
And like this is
Wow.
not like a big Chicago thing. It's just one place in Chicago that is very, very
Yeah.
popular. They like just started taking reservations in the last, I don't know, maybe a couple of years. Maybe it's longer. I have no idea. But they used to always have a line because you have to get there right when they open, and it would take forever. But then they started taking reservations
Uh-huh.
and changed the game. But
That sounds fucking delicious. I would eat the shit out of that.
that one on the red plate, that's at it's the red trim plate. That's the actual place.
Like
So you can see the guy taking it out. There's like the bowl, and he's
yeah.
the bowl out.
So it's a down, and it's like that. Greg, over to your
This
left, up,
one?
up,
This?
and to your right.
Right,
One to your right. Now down and down to your right. Down.
right there. That's it.
That looks
What?
like you go to some place in Chicago, and that's a fucking plate it would come out on. Like literally, that looks.
I mean, that is literally the place. Like that is the place. Pro tip: if you ever go there, the one thing you got to get is their Mediterranean bread. Can't describe it. It's delicious. Everyone will tell you it comes like overflowing on the plate. So good.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Wow. So April, all she can think is Kentucky Fried Chicken Popeye. Well, come on, April. That's
All right, we need to help April next year. We have to get her and have her actual try real pot pie because
come on, April. You know that that's like someone drinking Bud Light and saying I don't like beer. Come on, April. Don't do that.
wait, Greg, are you ready for this comment? Ren,
Mhm.
you know, I don't know, man. Hey, listen, maybe I don't know. Hey, listen, as a guy who grew up in the middle of Pennsylvania where pot pie was fucking everywhere and I ate it all the time, like that just sounds awesome to me. Maybe I'm just misinterpreting it.
Oh, it's really good, but like I don't think I've been there in at least 3 years. So I mean, it's not a place we're going very frequently.
I feel like you'd eat it once every 3 years, and your heart would be like, "That's enough for 3 years."
It's like pizza.
Yeah.
So, are you familiar with Crush, or is that the place we're talking about, Mike?
I was
Crushed
thinking
in Lakeview.
Crushed by Giants is the brewery. I don't know what Crushed in Lakeview.
Maybe that's with the pizza thing. I don't know.
Maybe it's a pizza thing. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what Crushed is. I mean, I live in Lincoln.
Oh, don't get my take on that because
What-
I fucking love SOS. I'm a garbage.
What is
human.
SOS?
But that's all
It's shit on a shingle. It's
What?
cream chip beef on toast, and it used to be served in the Army and the Navy as a meal because it was cheap to do, and it's just basically white gravy with cream chip, with chip beef and smothered on toast, and that's all it is. It is salty as fuck. It is so salty.
Yeah, Victor. What's Crushed?
I thought
Anyway.
Crushers was that gummy you used
Um,
to chew that like would spurt in your
Yeah,
mouth.
look, Crushed in Lakeview.
Mhm.
Crushed Pizzeria. I have never heard of this one.
Look at that. Chicago's big though. Y'all act like Chicago's a small place. Not Mike. People do. Doug, what's your third beer? And then we'll go here, and then we'll either move to rap or
No, I think we still have to talk sports yet before we go, but yeah. So this I found, and I was like giddy to find it. Barrel aged Yorkshire Stingo.
What you drink?
Barrel aged in oak ale cask from Samuel Smith, OG brewer. I've had Yorkshire Stingo before. I have not had it barrel aged, so this was like kind of a cool find for me. They said it's a limited release, and I would believe it because they probably don't want to make a lot of that stuff. What's interesting is they say that Yorkshire Stingo is a taste of dark fruit, toffee, and Christmas pudding with a subtle oaky finish. So we'll see if that's the case. Have you ever had Yorkshire Stingo before, Mike?
I have not.
That poured very heavy, and I didn't even do an aggressive pour with that, but you can see the color on it. So yeah, that's
Nice color. Yeah, I like that color.
It smells really sweet. Just a warning. So if they're saying it's like Yorkshire, like toffee pudding and Christmas pudding and all that shit, so that is like a very sweet barley wine. That's what that reminds me of. Definitely oak finish on the end. Not up front. It's definitely an ending taste as the oaky flavors come on the end of that.
Of course.
It's good and interesting, but just I remember it being before not nearly as sweet when I had the Yorkshire Slingo before. But I mean, I had that like 6 or 7 years ago. I mean, it's been a long time since I found one of those. So definitely an interesting beer. I would say this is a sharer just because of the sweetness, and I don't see an ABV in this at all.
Yeah, it's high.
It's got to be high because it's barrel aged.
It's high. Well, it's high. It's high.
I'm going to keep looking, but I don't see it.
So, Mike, I would
8% ABV.
It would be malpractice, Mike, if we don't ask you about Chicago beer. I guess we asked a little bit, but for a guy like me who's maybe coming into town next month, what are your must hit breweries? What are the ones that I'm sure you get this question asked a lot, so it should be easy. But you already said Revolution, and everybody knows Revolution. Respectfully, I think if you don't have Revolution on your list when you go to Chicago, you don't have a list. So that's really how I feel about that one. But there's so many other ones, whether it be Half-Hager, Haymaker. I mean, it just goes on and on down there. So that's why experts like you need to help us. So I don't know. You can give us your list, whatever. Don't care. How many you put on there or whatever, it's fine. 1, 2, 5, 10.
It's tough because really, and then I say this in all honesty, like every brewery that we have here in the city is a good brewery. You wouldn't survive if you weren't a good brewery at this point. So when people ask me for my favorite, this is truly a rotating list that it's like, I want to make sure I'm sharing, spreading the wealth of the Chicago craft beer scene. Off color, what Victor just said there. Off color is absolutely on my list, right? Revolution, Off Color, Dovetail, which is our lager only brewery. Big fan of Dovetail.
Jenny Flappin was here. She's a brewer there.
Yep, she is. Yep, she's very talented and makes incredible beers.
Yes.
I love Old Irving. They make Old Irving. They are fantastic. They won a whole bunch of medals. Not that medals dictate quality of beer, but they make really good stouts, hazies, and lagers. They're all over the board, so they're great. They just opened their brewery. If you like saisons, we have Was Brewery. They are an all saison brewery, and so they're really good. They just opened up in Ravenswood.
You hear that, April? An all saison brewery. You hear
April,
that, saison lovers?
Yeah, so they're great. Lovers? I love Mars. Mars is fantastic. And the list goes on and on. Hopewell is another one that just makes solid beers. They have some really great sour beers. And sometimes when I get asked these lists, I'm like, okay, who am I forgetting? And then I'm like, oh wait, I should have mentioned like Cruz Blanca. I'll call it Cruz Blanca. Makes out there in the West Loop. One of my favorite lagers in the city. But I mean that's a short rundown. Who makes good lagers? So if you're looking if you're looking for lagers, my top 3 to try lagers in Chicago, Dovetail is number 1, hands down. You gotta do Dovetail, and then from there, Goldfinger. They're not in Chicago; they're in the Burbs, but you can get them in Chicago. Goldfinger is the Dovetail of the suburbs, if that makes sense. They're really good. And then you have just a bunch of breweries making really good lager. I think someone said Maplewood. If you're talking about Maplewood, I think people know them for their hazy IPA, Son of Juice. But I would actually tell you that they have really good lagers as well. They're solid there. Cruz Blanca, as I mentioned, has good lagers. Yeah, I mean, there's so many lagers out there now. But most breweries will have a lager now. Put it that way. It'll be pretty good.
Can you tell us the name of the Saison Brewery again?
Was. Yep. That was the official name of it.
Okay.
Is /was?
Yeah.
/was.
Yeah. I'm like the black bearded nerd here. I'm like, all Saisons? How do y'all do that? I'm so fascinated. I gotta go there. I literally
It's
have
a
to
crazy
go there.
thing. They're not the only all Saison brewery in the Chicagoland area. We have two.
What?
We have Afterthought Brewery.
Oh wow. Somebody wants to mention Hot Butcher?
I love Hot
Of
Butcher.
course.
Hot Butcher's
yes.
known for their big hazy IPAs, but they do make other styles very, very well. But also their hazies are probably best in the city. They're kind of like our treehouse. But yeah, Hot Butcher's great.
Love the analogies. You're killing the analogies. It's like you've written for beer for half your life or something.
How many years?
It's how I can connect Chicago's beer scene to people who are not from Chicago. Right? It's like they're like Hot Butcher, I'm like Treehouse. They're like, gotcha now. Okay.
So then was, and what was the second Saison Brewery again? Afterthought. Okay, great. And then so Blackbeard Nerd, our friend Ren, any Belgian only breweries in Chicago? Or Belgian heavy? How about Belgian heavy?
Belgian heavy. Ooh. If you want some like Belgian style, Off Color would be a pretty good place to do some really funky beers. But if you want really good Belgian beers, go to Hopleaf in Andersonville.
Hopleaf?
Hopleaf.
Okay.
It's a beer bar, an OG beer bar that just has incredible beers, incredible food, but they will have some really good Belgian beers for you.
Wow. Okay. Any comments, Doug, you want to put up?
No, I just really like that you have such a. I mean, you've been doing this for so long in the Chicago area. It's not a surprise. I'm just saying, like, hearing this, like, when I go to FOBAB in the next 2 years, I'm putting it out there and manifesting that, as folks would say. I want to make it a trip where I am also going there a few days before so I can experience some breweries that are not going to be there or just breweries that are too small to do FOBAB or whatever. I want to try those kind of things. I also want to try deep dish pizza. I want to try all this shit that I can't try. And I remember we were talking the last time we had Jenny on, she said, I mentioned about hot dogs because I love hot dogs. And they're like, well, I think they closed.
They closed, I think it's like 7-8 years ago.
Yeah, I know. But I saw it on a show once and my brain was like, fucking hot dogs. I love hot dogs. But like, I want to try again, when I go places, I want to try what people there want to eat. I don't want to do it's like when you go to Philly, oh, we'll go to Geno's. No, you don't go to Geno's to get fucking cheesesteaks. You go somewhere where the local people go to get cheesesteaks. That's where the good shit is. Yeah. You know what I mean? You want to go where people, so if you're saying, go here, try this, great, I'm in. You know what I mean? So I'm going to really try to make it next year for FOBAB. I really, really want to do that. That is like I said, it has been, I've heard about it for years and I just haven't gotten there and I need to.
April, you better tell me when. Yeah. When? I ain't going there in February. So anyway.
Hey, Greg, as someone who's been there in February, I would agree.
Like,
don't go there
Chicago
in February.
might be worse than Wisconsin. Well, Wisconsin's not a great place in February either, but Chicago might be worse. And the only reason I say that is because of the wind all off the lake there is just wicked. It's just wild. Like we got wind up here too, but yeah, any other literally Ren any other month but February, and I'd probably be trying to come down and visit you. Ren is look, come to Buffalo. Ren's from Buffalo, so he's no
Buffalo's probably
spring
worse.
chicken to
Buffalo's
any
worse.
kind of winter.
And
Buffalo
Buffalo's
could be
3
worse
hours
than
for me. I need
Chicago.
to go
Right,
there.
right. It's that win in Chicago though. It's the win for me.
Mhm.
Like, and I realized it one time, Mike, when I went down there for it was this, I think it was Christmas. It was like in December, so it wasn't even really February, because December's kind of cold in Chicago, but it's not like frigid in my opinion.
Yeah.
And when you walk, I was at the Miracle Mile, Mike, and when you walk on the Miracle Mile, like it is this fucking hilarious how when you're walking and then you walk on a crossroads and the cross streets have that wind whip. So like you're literally just walking, Doug, and you walk on a crossroad. If the wind's going the right way, it'll literally blow your fucking ass over. Like you're like walking. It is wild. And obviously they call it the Windy City for a reason, clearly. But like until you're on the ground and you feel that wind, the Windy City thing is just like, it's the Windy City. No. If you feel that wind in the winter, Mike, it's just a whole different. It's just not even. I don't even know how y'all do that. But Chicago in the summer is not really, sometimes not a nice place because y'all thunderstorms are outrageous too. Y'all have some wild thunderstorms.
Pretty crazy weather. We definitely have some crazy weather. Classic Midwest, right? Changes all the time. But yeah.
Yeah. Good times. Doug wanted to talk some trash about sports. I have no idea. I'm standing.
Not trash. I want to get. How are you feeling about the Caleb Williams era and Chicago Bears? I'm curious because the season didn't start great, but it feels like it's going the right way. Tell me how you're feeling as a Bears fan.
Yeah,
with Caleb Williams.
You got to feel good. You got to feel good. I mean, the whole offseason was either they keep Fields or get rid of Williams. They got rid of Fields to draft Williams, which, if you're Ryan Poles, that is the right move. That is your career saving move, because if you don't do that and he becomes a star, you're screwed for life. If you take him and he's a bust, you say, well, I have to take him. He's the number one, and he's doing great. Like, I mean, he learned a little bit in the first couple of weeks when you're a rookie. Remember, right? He's a rookie, but the future is very bright for the Bears. They probably have the best outlook of any of our major sports teams right now.
Well, I find it interesting just the fact that, like, the only good Chicago quarterback in my lifetime, I'm 53 years old. The only good quarterback I remember was Jim McMahon. And he was the Terry Bradshaw of the 80s.
Yeah, that's not a good one.
Like, no, but that to me, that's a bit. Now they have Rex Grossman who took him to a Super Bowl, but Rex Grossman was not good.
That's not a good one either.
Everyone always knew Rex Grossman wasn't good. He was a game manager.
Yeah, he was trying to do the Trent Dilfer thing for Baltimore, for Chicago, is what he was doing. I'm trying to do the Mike. Go ahead.
No, go. I'll answer. No, go. Finish. I'll finish. No, go.
Sorry, it was I feel like I'm trying to do the Mike Zoller analogy thing, and I'm not doing it as well. Sorry, Greg. Go ahead. That's all I was saying. That's why I'm like, go ahead, because my point was not great.
I was just wondering why y'all were leaving Jay Cutler out of the conversation, but whatever. That's
Smoking
a joke.
Jay.
Yeah.
Good one, Greg.
So, yeah, so being a Browns fan, I have to have a bandwagon team because they suck. So, for a while, my bandwagon team was the Bears, actually. And I wanna root for the Bears, Mike. And the reason I want to root for the Bears is because of Caleb Williams, and I love Caleb Williams. I loved him at USC, and I was a fan of his, and I defended him with the pink fingernails and the crying on the sidelines and all the stuff that he went through in college. I loved him through all that. My problem with the Bears, Mike, is it's hard for me to forget how horrible, brutal your coach is. Now, maybe he's improved, but he was horrifyingly, horribly, awfully, terribly bad the last 2 years. Now, maybe his friendship with Ryan Poles and maybe the fact that y'all don't like to fire coaches is the reason he's still there. That would be the thing that I'm most suspicious about when the Bears go forward. I'm suspicious that y'all will build this really good team and this guy's going to fuck it up at a crucial time in the playoffs. Now, I hope I'm wrong because I'm not a fan of any of the other teams that are around here, especially the Packers. I got a love-hate relationship with them because the fans annoy me to tears. So, I really want y'all to do well. I'm skeptical about the coach, and that's really all I'm at. And I hope y'all get a new stadium too because y'all deserve it. Chicago Bears are quintessential, historic. It doesn't get any more NFL than the Chicago Bears, to be honest with you. Whether you like them or not, they are everything that is everything about the NFL. They deserve a good they deserve a good place to play. They're just a historic, wonderful franchise as far as that concerned. They're not my favorite team, but yeah. So those are my comments on the Bears. If you want to, it's like I said, Doug was going to talk trash, and I ended up talking trash. So Mike, I'll let you respond to my trash talking, and then we can move on.
No, I mean, hey, we're excited about the Bears. We hope they do well. I also say this: I'm a guy right now sitting in his basement in Chicago, so I'm not going to talk bad about Coach Flus. They kept him. They got rid of our offensive coordinator, which we needed to do. Excited about, and he's getting things better. It was a rocky start. I'm along for the ride.
Joel, fucking cheesehead. Welcome, Joel.
Oh, Mike, wait, what are you talking about, Mike? I have to call you out here. He says he's just a Chicago Bears fan in his basement. Isn't that what all Chicago Bears fans are, though? Like, all of y'all criticize him. Come on, stop. Don't do that, Mike.
I'm a realist here. I'm not going to say I know what to do.
Okay.
That's why they paid them the millions of dollars. I support the coach. I support Ryan Poles' decision. Who am I to be like that's the wrong pick? If Ryan Poles wants to talk about beer, then I'll criticize him then if he's wrong. But I said this from the beginning of the offseason. Whatever Ryan Poles decides to do, I'm like, all right,
you're good.
You're good. I'm trusting you. You know this way better than I do. And that's what I said from day one. Follow them.
And lastly, in last year's draft, not to take anything away from Ryan Poles, but really, I don't think you could have. I don't think there was a mistake to be made there, if that makes sense. Because if you took Jalen Daniels, well, we see how that's working out too. So either way, y'all were good, is what I was saying. What I'm thinking, and didn't take a brilliant genius to do what he did, but he had to do that. And there were people saying like they were going to trade and all that stupid shit, which was goofy. But whatever. Anyway, Mike, we'll check in with you hopefully in a year or two, and maybe y'all will finally get that. Maybe y'all will finally be able to bear down and beat the Packers. But the Packers aren't. I mean, they're good, but they're not the problem there. Y'all got to worry about the Detroit Lions, which is kind of bizarre and wild. But we can shelve that conversation for later because that's a whole ass story in itself. But yeah. So, Doug, did you get your sports?
I have two small things. I have two small things about sports, then we can move. Sorry, very quick. One, you being a realist in your basement in Chicago puts you ahead of the New England Patriots fans who think that they're in their basement and they could tell the fucking Patriots how to do things. So kudos to you. So fuck the Patriots also. But anyway, how are you feeling?
Why don't you just name the person that you're talking about? Just name that person.
Aaron Gouveia, you disillusioned motherfucker. Anyway, how are you feeling about being in the Cooper Flag sweepstakes for the Chicago Bulls? And that's the rest of my sports.
Oh, I enjoy. Well, I enjoy watching the Bulls, but I have Comcast.
Do you?
Well, that's true. That's fair. But we can't even watch the Bulls right now because of the new TV networks. That's a whole nother thing. Is if you have Comcast, Hulu TV, or YouTube TV, guess what? You're not seeing any Bulls or Blackhawks games, and that's kind of a bummer. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But I grew up in Chicago in the '90s when we had 6 championships. So I enjoy watching the Bulls maybe not as much right now, but I will always enjoy the Bulls. Going through a little bit of a rough patch. That's probably the most polite way to say it, right?
Yeah. So anyway, sorry. Hey, good luck. Hope you get Cooper Flag because he's a real deal.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm good with sports. Sorry, Greg.
Why are you sorry? This is your
No,
show.
because I could go on sports shit forever, and I know that. Yeah. So.
No, yeah, and I said my piece. So Mike, I don't know. I think I feel, Mike, is there anything you would like to talk about? Doug and I can talk about what we're watching. I don't know if you want to stick around for that, Mike, or if you want to dip. That this is your choice at the moment. If you have something that you're watching and you want to tell us, you can stick around. Otherwise, we can let you go here. And thank you for coming here and hanging out with us for a week, for us Friday. And really, again, I love Chicago so much. Another city that I love, Mike, especially for beer, is Milwaukee. And Milwaukee is Chicago's little brother in the aspect of it's almost, to me, they're really, really synonymous. They're on the lake. They're close to each other. And a lot of bullshit gets said about both cities. And it's just really mostly unjustified. Again, Milwaukee has its problems like every big city, but Milwaukee's an amazing beer city. It's vastly underrated as far as when you talk about the bigger beer scenes in America. Milwaukee is vastly underrated. It doesn't get mentioned where it should be mentioned with the Portlands and Austins and all that. Like, it's really right there. I don't know if anybody has, anybody who's been to Milwaukee. It's literally right there. It probably doesn't have the amount that Chicago has, but again, Chicago's what, our third largest city or fourth largest city, something like that, fifth largest. It's in the top 5. So that alone, the demographics alone mean that Chicago should have a robust system of food and beer. I'll let you, if you have anything about Milwaukee, I'll let you comment on that.
I love going to Milwaukee. I'd say it's super close for us. Great beer scene, good food. Love going there when the Cubs play the Brewers, but other than that, Milwaukee's great. Nothing wrong with Milwaukee.
Who you got? Who are your favorites up there? Who are your favorite breweries, real quick, up there?
So obviously Lakefront is great, and then I think, is it 1840? Is that a
1840?
Yeah, 1840 Brewing Company.
Yes, sir.
We were up there. They're a small little one, but they actually made a really, really good saison when I was up there. But yeah, 1840 is another one, and there's a few other ones up there, but 1840 and Lakefront are great.
You ever do Supermoon?
I don't think I have.
Put Supermoon on your list. It's near 1842. Put
Okay.
Supermoon on your list.
And Venture.
Put Venture. Supermoon, Supermoon might be better than Venture. Supermoon is excellent. Venture's great too. I could just, once we get into that, I can just start.
I appreciate you guys having me on. I don't watch a lot of TV, so I'll bow out at the what you're watching thing. But
it's cool.
No, I appreciate y'all having me on. Great conversation. And if you, Greg, if you're coming for FOBAB, you let me know.
Yeah, anytime I'm gonna come to Chicago, I'm gonna dip in, and it'd be nice to have you back maybe next year, and we can see where Chicago is, see what you're doing. So Mike, where can we find you real quick before you get out of here?
Yeah. So you can find me at Chicago Beer, TikTok and Instagram, probably the best way to do it. Twitter, the Twitter account you showed, that is not me. I don't know who got Chicago Beer.
That was the whole thing. Yeah.
But that's not me.
Okay.
It's strangely the other way. It's at Mike Zoller on Twitter. But also on Threads, Instagram Threads at Chicago Beer. But Chicago Beer is the best way to find me.
Twitter, I'm sorry, not Twitter, IG and TikTok.
Yep.
Excellent. And you're not at Porch anymore, right? Or you are?
I'm helping out there on some digital stuff, but no longer writing after my son was born. Took a step back and working on the digital content, which takes up most of my time. So not writing anymore now.
Oh, so okay. But you are, we can't find you on TikTok, commenting and doing that.
Oh yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. As long as your voice is out there. That's good.
I know I'm still very connected to the craft beer scene here. All my content, all that good stuff about craft beer. So still in beer.
Excellent.
Yeah, and I can't recommend his TikTok enough. If you like beer, please just follow and Chicago stuff because yeah, he's
He's
part
a
of the band
fan
now,
now.
man. Yeah.
Yeah, look, you got a new follower. That's great. That's great. All right, Mike. Well, thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
Thank you for taking Doug's invite. I know Doug is weird, so responding
Haha,
to his
I am.
DMs, Doug responding to his direct DMs might be a weird thing, but I got it. I understand.
Anytime, guys. Thanks for having me on. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
And go Bears. Bear down.
Bear down.
Tear down.
Bear down. Bear down.
Yeah.
Thanks for booking that fella. He's fun, Doug.
Yeah.
And this is fun too. Yo, what are we watching, Doug? You first. We got
All right.
this one. What is this one? This is
So The
weird.
Devil's Hour is a show that my wife and I watched. The first season was, I think, 6 episodes. This one's 5. It is an interesting. The reason we watch it is because Peter Capaldi is the main character, who is one of the doctors from Doctor Who. Jill loves that guy, and he's great. It's basically like a time traveling thriller. It's fucking so good. Like I said, each episode's an hour. So the first episode you could whiz through in 5 hours, 6 hours, the second season. So basically, if you spent 11 hours on the couch, you could whip through the first 2 seasons. It's superbly done. It's really well. The kid who acts in it is one of the best child actors I've ever seen. And he's just, the way he plays the character is super good. It's on Prime. So if you have Prime, I can't recommend that enough. It's really, really good.
Yeah, okay. And then we have this one.
All right, spooky season, baby. So yes, this is
Where?
a French. The language is all French, so you have to have subtitles. But it is this thing where, so if you read the thing, lured back to her hometown, a famous horror writer discovers that the evil spirit who plagues her dreams is now wreaking havoc in the real world because she's not writing the demon or whatever it is. It is superbly fucking acted. It is creepy as shit. I'm not done with it, and I can't wait to finish it. It is one of the better creepy shows I've seen in a long fucking time, and I mean a long time. The only thing that compares to it so far to me is Midnight Mass, which was that was great. But this is like it's a more like Midnight Mass was like more stunning. This is creepy, like that character right there, that face, that woman. Just the creepiest fucking shit. The way she does things,
It's rare you see 100 on the tomato meter too.
Yeah. And
that speaks for itself.
Ren, you're right. Midnight. This is right on par with that, but it's French, so you have to watch subtitles. So, yeah.
Yeah. So, like I said, I rarely see 100, and when I saw it, I was like 100. Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
So, when going to.
No, I was just gonna say Midnight Mass was basically Mike Flanagan, who's done several Stephen King adaptations, which are superb. That was his version of Salem's Lot, which got released recently, which was terrible. But yeah. And by the way, Ren, you said you love subtitles. I watch with subtitles now all the time because I'm partially deaf and I miss a fuck ton of dialogue, especially if it's whispery shit or I can't hear any of it. So subtitles are the way to go. Greg, do you and before we go to what you're watching, sorry, do your kids, and I feel like generationally the kids watch stuff with subtitles. Do they not watch stuff with subtitles? Because all my kids watch stuff with subtitles all the time. Really?
They get annoyed when I want them.
Wow. Hey, your father's an old man. Let him fucking put on the subtitles, motherfucker.
I ain't give a fuck
And
about
he's paying
old
for shit.
man. Yeah, the old man thing is what they make fun of, Doug.
Yeah. I'll let him.
Oh. Okay.
Well, hey, and they're both anime fans. So also they're making. I also saw that they're making a John Wick anime.
Yeah. I put that in there. So you gonna get into anime?
I might get an anime for that.
All right, all right. I had a pleasant surprise at the movie theater, Doug. You
Oh,
you heard me talk about it, but
I did. Let's hear about it now.
I kind of got strung in. I wouldn't say strung in. I kind of not pushed it, but I was like, I should heavily suggested the boys, and I go to see Transformer One. And we all had a very fun and good time with this one. Um, Transformer One is it's the origin story, y'all. So it shows you like how the Transformers became who they are. I think when I was young and they had the Transformers, like the animated series that we all know when we were young, I
Mhm.
mean, they just jumped in. There was really, I don't remember an origin story. And if it was like 2 seconds. And they just jumped in. This really explains it really good. And my next panel here, so an 89, 98, a 98 from the fans. That's really good. That's a really good
Yeah.
here for sure. And then I saw this review here, the Cinema Files. The bottom line, when I read this review, I was like, this is exactly how I feel. Transformer One punches above its weight and really doesn't have any right being as good as it is. Absolutely.
Mm.
It has some
I
flaws,
love
but
that
the film's
line.
high. Yeah, it's not. It has no right being as good as it is. Correct. It has some flaws, but the film's highs more than make up for them. We just had a whole lot of fun, Doug. It was just a fun movie. It was PG. I mean, it was just on point. Yeah. Look at it. I'm sorry. This one. Yeah. It was fire. It was fire. It was. I was surprised. I was surprised. Um, No, I missed it. They said it was great, and they interviewed the voice cast. Oh wow, that's dope. That's dope.
That
Yeah,
is
it
fucking
was.
dope. That is really dope.
Yeah. Transformer One was an excellent movie, and like I said, it didn't have it. It just took me by surprise. I the movie that I had the most fun in before that was the Mario movie. It kind of had it hit all those notes. You know how sometimes we were talking about a movie that Doug enjoyed recently that I need to see is Axel F, which is
Mhm.
which is Beverly Hills Cop 4. And Doug said that basically he said it on a previous show. Y'all missed it, maybe not. And he also said it. We were talking on our production one of our threads just today about how like for these series like so I just wanted I for a lot of these series, especially like Transformers has had what 8 movies now or something. Like y'all need to when you make these movies, y'all need to hit those those nostalgia points, and that's what I think everybody's really looking for. This is what I was trying to talk about before today in our thread. If you hit those nostalgia points, Doug, that's how you make a good sequel. You're not ever going to ever make like I don't care if you make 17,000 Beverly Hills Cops, they're never going to be as good as that original. You know what I mean? The original always hits differently. Generally, the original or the second or the third one are usually the best ones. You know what I'm saying? So like when
Yeah.
you get to there, you just got to hit the notes. Like I just want to see Eddie Murphy be funny. I want some throwbacks to like the old school. I want him, talking about race and all that crazy shit. You know how he talked and all that back in the day, and people are like, "Oh my god, I don't believe you said that to a white person," and all that shit. Like that's what I want. So like it sounds like Axel F was that, and Transformers One was that for me. So it just hit all the notes, and um I was surprised that it's very rare, Doug. I don't know about you, but it's very rare when me and my boys agree on anything almost. But especially on these movies, like there's always a level of they're like, no, that isn't that good, or I'm like, damn, that was horrible, and they're like, it was great. So like we all agreed on that, and that was a big surprise too.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, so, like, I took my son to see Longlegs. I'm going to use that as an example, a horror movie.
Mhm.
And so I took my son, my two sons, and my one son's boyfriend, and we went and we saw it, and they all came out there like that was weird and really fucking great. And then when my daughter was home, she wanted to watch that with me at home, and we watched it, and afterwards she's like, "I don't think I like that," and I was like, I thought it was weird. It's a horror movie. Horror movies are all flawed. There are flaws all over the fucking place because that's what makes
Mhm.
horror what it is, right? But I really enjoyed Long Legs, and I think it's funny that Long Legs was just okay. That's cool. For me, I just liked how fucking creepy Nicolas Cage was in that movie, and he wasn't. It's akin to he was in the movie about as much as Anthony Hopkins was as Hannibal Lecter in Silence of the Lambs. He's not in it a lot, but when he's in it, he fucking owns the screen. And yes, it's weird and it doesn't a lot of sense. But like
You said Hannibal Lecter. Sorry,
I'm not trying to be Trump, but you know what I mean. But anyway, I really enjoyed Long Leg. Good.
We like to troll.
Okay. See, this is the thing.
It's phony stuff. It didn't
you can't have Nicolas Cage playing the villain in a horror movie and doing Leaving Las Vegas style acting. That's not going to work. It's just not. Oh, now listen, he's right about fucking. He said about this or Pig. Pig. If you've not seen it, Pig is fucking awesome. With
Pig.
Pig with Nicolas Cage is a great fucking movie. Great movie. I can't explain it, and I'm not going to do it. You need to watch it yourself. Sometimes maybe good.
Pig. What is Pig on, Doug? Pig.
Let me find out. I'm telling you, that movie, it went under the radar. It is such a good fucking movie.
Pig? Okay.
It's from 2021. It is, let's see what it's on. It's on Prime. Huku, too. Or Hulu.
Mm-hmm. Hulu. Mm-hmm.
I'm going to tell you, just go in that with no expectations and just watch it, and you'll be fucking floored.
What is it about?
I'm not going to explain it. I'm not going to.
Okay.
I'm just telling you need to watch it.
Okay. How much of my time do I have to give for this shit?
I think it's like 2 hours long.
Okay. That's fine. 2's cool. When y'all try to get me to 2, 3, 4 hour movies, y'all need to chill on that shit. Break that shit up in 2 parts. Don't do that.
Yeah, to me. And as trust me, yes. So yes, it just understand. Take 2 hours, 2 hours, 15 minutes of your time, and just watch it and tell me what you think. It's really, really different movie, and I really enjoyed that movie.
Okay, do I watch it at night or during the day?
Either. I don't think it matters.
Okay.
Like watching Long Legs, watch that shit at night. Don't watch that during the day. That's a different beast.
Long Legs? Well, y'all are all over the place with Long Legs, so I'm not either.
See?
Pig. Right, I gotta Google this because now y'all got me interested. Okay, that looks weird. Okay. And I don't like the
pictures. Yeah.
It's creepy. It's weird. All right.
My wife ain't a movie person, and she loved pigs. So like, all right, well, see. Also, we have to talk about Victor doing this. Victor watches every movie that ever comes out, ever. A 320-minute movie. Jesus Christ. What was that movie that was on Netflix that was an Indian movie that was an action movie? It was like 3 hours long, and I can't remember. I've heard great things about it, but I need to look it up.
So I've seen 3 hour movies, but I have to go to the movie theater and sit there. I can't watch it at home. I can't do it. I have to go. That's why I'm JFK. Wasn't that 3 hours? Remember the old JFK?
That was fucking long.
Right. And Saving Private Ryan. Remember that one? That's a 3 hour one too.
It is a hard sell for me anymore as an old man to be like, I'm going to watch a movie for more than an hour and a half. Like if I see a movie that's 90 minutes, it might suck, but at least I know it's 90 minutes.
See, this movie I wanted to pull my fucking hairs out. I know some of y'all like that shit.
I never watched it.
I don't want to say awful, but it was just too long. It drug on. It was just I'm sorry. This is a great one though. This is a great one.
All right. Fun fact: I haven't watched that.
Oh,
No, I should, and I know I should.
okay.
But
You know, I
I,
haven't seen shit. Sorry, you go. We keep hitting the button.
I like this. I didn't know that. And Big Top Pee Wee Hot Shots, really? And she directed that. She was the love interest in both those movies. That's super interesting.
Oh,
All right.
you want
Also,
your friends anymore? What
you can't
happened?
be you can't be friends with me because I just did not do that movie yet. It's on my fucking giant list of
Oh,
movies I need
Malcolm
to
X.
watch.
Oh, you got this on because of Malcolm X. Okay, I got it. I understand it now. Mhm. So, um, uh, Ran man, shame away at him. Shame away at him. The problem is, hold on. The problem is, Ren, I can't shame him because Douglas literally told me probably 100 movies I should watch and TV shows, and I fucking completely shame him. You can, I can't. I'm not in any place to shame him for anything as far as this goes. So I got to shut my damn mouth. But I do approve of you shaming him though for that one because I see Malcolm X. Anyway,
All right. So here's I'm going to ask you a question, Greg. All right. So we have movies that we look at and we go, that movie should be shown to every fucking kid in high school. For me, like American History X is one of them because that movie is about fucking white nationalists coming out of it and realizing he was fucking wrong. And I think that should be shown to kids to be like in high school to be like, this is how you can figure that shit out. I'm wondering if my guess would be Malcolm X should be in that group. Is Malcolm X should be in that group too? I would assume, but I've never
as
watched.
far as what must see movies for people like culturally,
Must see culturally as also like I'm thinking more for folks who are in high school to get the sense of what the
yes,
gravity of what that is.
yes, that needs to be an educational type
That's what I'm going
movie.
for.
Hell yeah.
Educational. Sorry. Thank you.
Yes. Yes. It's not I don't think it's Ren, it's not an official documentary, is it? I don't think it is. I think it's not, whatever. It doesn't matter because documentaries will lie in your face anyway and be fiction too. So let's not even do that. Let's not do that. But some documentary, when you put documentary on it, generally it should be, oh, this is fact based, but nothing's fact based anymore. So let's just don't do that. I mean, very few when your news channels are not fact based, then nothingness. So yeah, America has to stay American, meaning whitewash. Period.
Amen
Right?
there,
No,
Red.
fuck no. Where's my buzzer for that shit?
No, but his point is
No, no,
that's what they view
oh
it
no.
that. You're right.
Oh, I know his point. I'm just saying. Right? No, motherfucker. that's not. That's not. He's right though. I mean, he's not. We're not arguing whether the man's right. We got it, and I got the sarcasm in there too. He slid it in there. I got it.
Sorry.
High school shit. Oh,
I think they should do something like this and something like there's a show called Sex Education, which had Gillian Anderson in it, which is fucking superb. And it talks all about teenage sex urges and how people navigate sex when they're teens and if their parents are uptight and their parents are not uptight. And it's just this really great show about how sex encompasses a lot of things, especially in teenage years. I really think that should be good.
yeah. So one of the
Yeah.
cool things about having homeschool kids is that I got to teach them and I got to curate the history, Ran. So that's always good. And also we've had very, very pointed and sometimes I wouldn't say heated, but pointed conversations about race and things like that. And they saw definitely some documentaries that I pointed their way. And also, Ren, we have again, Ren. I know your kids are younger than mine because my kids are now. I know I'm the age myself, but they're both adults now, over 18. But still like movies like to me documentary movies like Boys in the Hood, New Jack City, all these old school uh realistic quote unquote hood movies, Juice, Higher Learning, we can go down the list of these wonderful, to me, this is part of our culture, and this is part of, the shows that our kids should be seeing. I sent a note to my friends. Yeah, did all the hood movies. Hell yeah. The movie they're trying to watch tonight, but they didn't get to it, is White Man Can't Jump, because these motherfuckers were talking about seeing Jack Harlow White Man Can Jump, and I was like, whoa, 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 whoa! Before we even get to the Jack Harlow one, what about Woody Harrelson and Wesley Snipes? And they're like, what? And I'm like, bitches, no, you ain't doing that. We ain't doing that. You
Back
can
a little
watch the
bit.
Jack Harlow one. Yeah, you can watch the Jack Harlow one, but you ain't. No, 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 no. So like even movies like I consider White Man Can't Jump a hood movie. Basically, it's about a white man and black man in the hood, so that counts. Um, yeah, hell yeah. I mean, I haven't seen it in a while, so they were gonna do it while I was doing the stream, but I think they said they postponed it. So I'm gonna jump in with that on that one. Yeah, we're getting so the backstory is, y'all, we're getting rid of I put my cancellation in for Max and Disney Plus. I'm not spending $300 on both of them. It's just not gonna happen because I didn't have the bundle thing. So I canceled them, Doug, and they cancel in a month. So then in a month, I want to see if anybody gives a shit about these two things. And if they don't, everybody's saying, no, 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 we don't care. We don't care. It doesn't, what is it, Doug? You don't know the true worth of something until it hits the fan. You know what I mean? So when it's
Yep.
gone, we'll see if they actually, but so we're getting rid of Max and Disney, and White Man Can't Jump is on Max. So when I canceled it, Doug, we went through the wish list on both of them, and I was like, all right, y'all got a month to catch up on all these movies that you have on your wish list. And we looked, and they're like, and I'm like, you need to see White Man Can't Jump. You need to see that one before. So
Yeah.
they're like, okay, cool, but yeah, Ren, right, like I totally feel you here. I grew up in the hood, and I know, Ren, you did, and my kids grew up in a fucking cul-de-sac in the fucking burbs. This is a fact. So facts. So yeah,
Yeah.
they definitely need a little hood in them. And even when we go back to Pittsburgh and stuff, we drive through the quote rough parts of town, and I'm like, look, this is where this is life. This is where y'all live is some. I mean, where we live is some magical suburb bullshit.
Utopia.
Like, yeah, it's and it's not, because whatever. Anyway,
Yeah.
Madison's nice, as I love to talk about. Madison's nice, but 20 minutes outside of Madison,
Not so nice.
well, I don't know if it's not nice. It's just farmland and white
Racism.
people and well, a little, not again, not all, of course. You know how this goes, Doug. It's definitely more complicated than that. How about that?
Yep, for sure.
But what's not complicated, Doug, is us getting our asses out of here. So I don't know why I did that. I should have did that, but whatever. But before we go, I have to talk about this, y'all. Next week we got Black women speaking on craft culture. The reason why we didn't say craft beer is because we got a cider maker in here, we got a beer maker in here, we got two Black female influencers, and she's all over the place as far as that goes. Meaning she's in distillery, she's in big beer, she's in big alcohol, she's in black alcohol. Y'all know her Monday stream. She didn't send me a promo this week, y'all. So I'm not sure if she has a being black and craft. I'm not sure if she has one this week. But if not, she's got a nice backlog for y'all to check out, being black and craft. Google that. But Angel will be here next Friday. ABC will be here next Friday talking about craft culture. What's going, their views. Doug and I will be here, but we'll be in the background mostly. Maybe April will let us ask a couple questions. But otherwise, we're just here to enable their voices. And we don't hear from Black women enough on every issue, for the record. So we're going to get their opinion on everything craft beer, what they're seeing, what they're feeling, what's going on. Love all of them. They're big people in our lives, and we just want to platform their opinions anytime we can. Wait. What is going on in February in Chicago? And why don't
Greg,
I know about this?
Greg, maybe you need to go to
And
Chicago in February.
yeah, I'm not trying to though, but I can get on a train and get there, so it's not even. Um. Wait. I used to trade beer with a guy from Madison, and that person wasn't me.
Damn.
What are we doing
I,
here?
I don't know.
Yeah. Next week's gonna be fun, man. It's gonna be
That's good.
fun. Doug can't wait. Yeah, and I know ABC. I saw her within the past month and a half. Um, she's got some tea to spill,
Yes,
Ren.
she does.
So I don't know if April's gonna tee her up or not, or what's gonna happen. But I know it's a shame, right? It's a shame. It's a shame we're still new. It's not a shame, but you know. Um, yeah, but y'all gonna be in Chicago? What's going on? Um, you already know. You
Yep.
already know. And she got tea to spill, whether it's about Weathered Souls, whether it's about the Brewers Association. There's a whole bunch of shit going on with Black Beer Twitter and Black Beer in general. And ABC's got her as he says she thorough, right, hmm
Mhm.
and she has her finger on the pulse of all this shit. Like more than us, though. Like that's why I'm like she was hinting on ABC going away. I don't know. I
Yeah, she talked about that, and we
yeah.
haven't got to that point. So yeah.
Well, I kind of put pressure on her, Doug, because when maybe you saw it, but when she said she was, I'm like, we get the last interview, lady.
Yeah,
We come here.
damn right.
I want the last appearance of ABC. I want it right here. Um. Oh.
Oh, well, Red, you know
Oh.
what's coming.
Yeah, Ren, be here next week. And you'll hear what ABC says. I know April has an opinion. I'm not sure what it is, but we'll let the ladies talk on it. That'd be great. Um, and yeah, we'll talk about that at Barrel and Flow, or I don't know, maybe some other time. Anyway,
Maybe,
Doug.
maybe before that.
I think that I had to do this again because I just set it up all weird. All right, Doug. What did you have so we can
All
do
right.
this?
So I have pretty good beers all around, but the thing I had Rook, which was a thiolized amber lager, which was a reddish thing, which made it more citrusy, which is interesting. But not it wasn't that it was bad. It was just okay. Yorkshire Stingo, which was I've had it before, but I've never had it barrel aged, so it was Asian barrel cask. Samuel Smith. This was 8%. This was supposed to have like a sticky toffee pudding kind of taste. It was definitely
Mhm.
sweet, um,
Mhm.
interesting. One bottle was enough. But the winner, to much to Greg's chagrin, was the Mad Elf. You didn't even ask me about the flavoring of this. This is the best Mad Elf I've had in probably 3 or 4 years because they change your recipe every year. They do.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And this
I was
was
gonna
the
say,
best
why don't we have
one. A lot of times they drop too much honey in it where it's too sweet, which has been the problem for the last 3 years. This was much more subdued on the honey, a little more cherry forward. But yeah, it was super good. And hey, yes, I will open up a mead at some point. I just didn't do it tonight because I can't drink a whole bottle of mead because I will be dead, Ren.
yeah, but look,
Oh, okay.
Ren. Oh wait, Ren. So if Doug opens the mead, he can screw it back and still keep it, right? Or no?
I
Or
just
is it
know that
like
I know
beer where
me, and
you
I'd be
open
like,
it
"This is
and
delicious," and I'm going to drink it all of it, and that would be my problem.
okay. I thought you could take a little sip and then I thought it was kind of like liquor where you could sip it and then because it's not
I don't know.
carbonated, right? Or no?
I don't
I
think
don't
it
know.
is, but
Well,
no,
the mead master's here. He'll respond. While we're
yeah.
waiting for his response, um, we will do this real quick. I had hold on, Doug. Hold on with the comments while I'm talking, Doug. Thank you. Um, I have these. Jesus Christ. Here we go. A lager. This lager. Oh my God, I'm a mess. Jesus Christ.
It's just the
I didn't even
background.
take 50 milligrams. Yeah. This is a lager. Packer beer. It was fun. It was a dumb little lager, though. It wasn't anything special. But, a lager doesn't have to be special, right?
Doesn't have
Right?
to be.
Right? And this is a good one. The coffee golden ale. This is a good one. Nice
Yeah.
coffee tones. Nice beer at the end. You could tell it was a golden ale. You could tell the coffee didn't overwhelm it. Really nice, really nice. Oliphant, good shit. Oliphant, Northern Wisconsin. They do some THC seltzers that are bangers. 50 milligrams, as Doug already says. Already warned y'all about. And then this is a good one. Doug, this is, I don't know, if it would last, I would definitely send you this one. I think you would like it because I know you like delicate coffee beers.
Me too.
Um,
I do.
yeah. So Doug, before did Ren respond? Did he? Oh no, it's not carbonated, but refrigerated for open. So there you go, Doug.
All right.
Oh, he sent you a capper. So I think that means you can put it back on. I would assume that's what he's
Yeah,
saying.
the one that has the
Yeah,
that probably does.
And okay, Doug. Before last bit of business is this.
Okay, so Renee and I, the day after the election for the president, we were going to talk about Christian nationalism and the unholy war on democracy. And oh boy, are we going to go into that? That's going to be something. Christian nationalism, if you are not aware, is a very large problem in the United States. The whole Trump thing, the enemy within, it's not who he says it is, it's who he is getting support from. I'm intrigued. I have not watched this yet, but oh man, I'm super looking forward to this.
Yeah. So the funny thing about the timing, Daniel, on this one, a little inside ball. So the Cold Bar is a project that I thought up, and then I approached Renee and Doug about it, and they were like, "This is a great idea. Let's do it." So it's all of our thing, and I've never made an appearance on the Cold Bar, but I might make one next week because it's
You
the
are welcome to.
2-year anniversary, y'all, of the Cold Bar. They've been doing it for 2 years. Every month, I think y'all missed 1 month because of technical difficulties or something.
That is true.
2 months, and I think another one we played a replay. So I help produce the show, like, doing all these things. But Doug and Renee are the content creators. They control all the content. They take care of all the content. They curate it. They do that, with the exception of, well, not the exception, but this month, it was about 2 months ago, I sent them this thing, and they were like, "Oh, this is a good idea." But they were doing Johnstown. Is it Johnstown?
Jonestown.
Jonestown, my bad. So then they had
Which was a 3-month thing.
It was a 3-month thing. So when they were in the middle of that when I suggested this one to them. So they're like, "Oh, we'll do this after Johnstown," and then it's funny that it landed on the Wednesday before election day, which is it the Wednesday? It's
the
Wednesday
day after National Election Day. Tuesday the 5th. Tuesday the 5th is election day, and then the next
so it's
day.
not I keep thinking it's next week. It's not next week. It's the week after.
The week after.
Okay, so it's the day after the election, and hopefully the election will be resolved by then. But anyway, that's
hopefully.
You never know.
Hopefully in the right way too.
Yeah, we like to drag it. Well, yeah. So yeah. So this is one I actually suggested to them. I think I've suggested another one before. But y'all create the content. But anyway, the point is that in 2 weeks it's the second anniversary, so I probably will make an appearance, but we haven't talked about that yet. But if it'll be in and out. I ain't trying to talk about Colts. It's wild. I do sit in the back in the green room the whole time. For most of the shows I've been in the green room, or half of them at least. Yeah.
A good portion of them at least.
It took Doug a little bit to know, to get, how to move everything around. But once he got that, it was cool. But Colt Bar, man, y'all need to check it out. If y'all like Colts, the stories are fun. Renee and Doug are fun, of course, as y'all already know. And that's in 2 weeks. Actually, you could celebrate the end of the election with Renee and Doug and I. And Christian nationalism, even when Trump is defeated in 2 weeks, it's not going away, and it's still going to be an issue that we're all going to have to deal with. So, for socially, check us in. So, anyway, next week we're still excited about this. We're not going to not be excited until it happens, and we'll probably be excited after it. This is so maybe they'll have something to talk about politics and how that speaks to craft culture and or it has any effects, maybe not. But April's the moderator, and April is asking the questions and moving it around, and Doug and I will have our suggestions, but if she don't take them, she don't take them. So we will see y'all next week. Doug, you have any final shots? Oh, have a happy Halloween. Halloween for us it was in a weird place this year. Thursday, it's the Thursday before the show, and it's Thursday, so it's the furthest away, so we didn't really do anything special for Halloween, but we want y'all to be safe. It should be fun if y'all have any parties. Halloween's a great drinking day. But it's on a Thursday, so I'm not sure what y'all doing, but Doug and I want to wish y'all have a happy holiday, a happy Halloween. And yeah, Doug, any final shots and we'll get out of here.
No, I just wanted to say Rem makes a good point about the Victor comment there.
You do it, Doug, so we don't jump on each other.
Yeah, because we've been doing that all night. Thank you, Rem, for jumping in and joining with us. Thank you for having some meat I can purchase and have in my house.
I got to do that. What am I doing?
I don't know what you're doing, Greg, dude. Do it. Yeah. So, but yeah, thanks for everybody for joining us, and thanks to Mike for bringing us the Chicago-ness, and kind of hey, listen,
literally. Sorry, Doug. I did it. I jumped on you. Good buddy.
No, dude, he's right. Christian nationalism is fucking nuts.
It's wild.
Yeah, and let me tell you, I have folks who are in my ring of family who are all in on that, and it is fucking hard to not get them to understand how bad it is. But yeah. So anyway,
I don't know if they can be reached. Y'all need to talk about whether they can be. Let's talk about can they be reached.
We'll be talking about that.
Let alone what you do when you reach them. There's two problems here. You got to reach them first, Doug, and then you got to get like.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks everybody for watching. Thanks to Mike for jumping on with us, and I cannot wait till next week to have the Black women over and talk about the shit. This is gonna be fucking great. I can't wait.
Yeah, and as I'm uploading our outro, I will play it once it uploads. I didn't get there yet. Or no, I did.
I did? All right. Sweet.
Oh, I did. Bye.
Bye.